It's week 6 of the Woods Watch Party, and we've been waiting all season long for this one. November 18th, 2017, Dartmouth, Princeton. The final game of a spectacular season for the Big Green, with an Ivy League title still possible with some help around the conference. What started as a 9-point first quarter turned into a 98-point shootout for the ages, and the scoring didn't stop until the very last play.
Hey everybody, welcome to another edition of the Woods Watch Party. I'm ESPN Plus Dartmouth football broadcaster Tyler Murray. We're about to relive one of the wildest and most memorable games in recent years for the Big Green, so it's only fitting that we bring in a star-studded cast of coaches and former players to tell us all about it. Really excited about our foursome today. We've got first from Rochester, New York, the man with more rushing yards than any other quarterback in Big Green history. It's Jared GERBINO. Hi, Jared.
How you doing, Tyler? Thanks for having me. Looking forward to broadcasting the game and reliving one of my favorite games of my career and one of my favorite games with Dartmouth football. So appreciate it.
We'll be seeing a lot of that man on the tape. Thanks for being here, Jared. And then from Charlotte, North Carolina, as the Panthers get ready for a Sunday matchup with the New Orleans Saints, it's Matt KASKEY.
Hey guys, how's it going? Good to be here. Also, one of my favorite games. Fun watching Jared run in this one.
Thanks for being here, Matt. And then we're honored to have repeat guests. It means we're doing something right. We've got Coach Dobes first from Hanover. Say hi, Coach.
Hey, everybody. Great to see you. Looking forward to spending the next few hours with you guys watching this madness of a game. And it was one of those days where everything that could happen did happen. And we did a great job of finding a way to get ourselves a big W. Matt, just want to ask you what happened against my Bears.
Coach, I can't say much about that, man. We're on to the next one here.
Okay.
So we got the defensive whiz, Coach Dobes, and on the offensive side, Kevin DAFT. Hey, Coach.
How's it going, Tyler? Thanks for having me again. Excited to relive this game. The players made it easy on us. Guys like Jared made it easy to call plays when he was playing one of his best games. So excited. This is the end of my first season, and it was an exciting game to finish on. So
Thanks to Casella Waste Management for bringing us today's game. Casella is a proud partner of Dartmouth Athletics.
This is the highest scoring game in Dartmouth history, so let's get to it. On the Ivy League Network broadcast, we'll get this thing started. As we like to do, we'll start with the coaches. First, Coach Dobes, I mean, this offense, the last couple of years, it's been such a good battle. Dartmouth's D against Princeton's offense. I mean, what makes this such a dangerous team and such a difficult team to prepare for?
Well, I mean, they always start with great skill and a great quarterback. Sean Gleason was the offensive coordinator. He had just taken over for his first year, and he's got a really great mind. And he puts you in a lot of situations and creates a lot of matchups that really challenges a defensive coach. You know, they had that 3-week run where they scored 50 points 3 weeks in a row, and we had seen their Friday night game on TV against Harvard when they took the pedal off the gas and still put 52, I think it was, on Harvard that night. So we knew we were in for a long one, and we learned a lot of lessons as the game went on.
Yeah, well, ask the offensive players now. As you watch this team, and Matt, we'll start with you, and then Jared, feel free to chime in. The two games coming in, you'd watched your defense allow just 10 points. That was a Fenway Park to Brown. And then they shut out Cornell the previous week. You're not going to keep that kind of production up, but what was it like watching maybe this first drive, seeing them pick up chunks of yardage for the first time in really weeks against this defense, knowing that you guys would have to answer this really all day?
Yeah, I mean, we knew this Princeton offense was good. They had good players, good offensive coordinator, everything like that. So, but we knew, at the end when it mattered, the defense was going to hold up. So we just needed to, keep the game close so they can come in and finish it at the end. But yeah, that was a great season for our defense, and it's definitely tough against an offense like Princeton, but we were ready to put up some points too. Their defense, I remember, went through a bunch of injuries before this game. So they didn't have a lot of starters playing, so we knew we needed to put up a lot of points and that we could put up a lot of points this game.
And don't break.
And don't break.
I think going into it, obviously we knew Princeton was a really good team. Knopf was like obviously a really good quarterback. So we all one of the things during my career is I always knew that the defense would take care of their things on the side of the ball. We just had to focus on our side of the ball. So that was definitely huge. Going into this game, obviously we knew that we had a productive offense and they had a productive offense, so it was going to be a full team game, and that's exactly what happened.
Ryan Quigley, that's really their third running back.
What was it about this season, guys? The first 5 games of the year were decided by 5 points or fewer. This one is the season finale in 2017. It's made the Woods Watch Party. Spoiler alert, it's a good game, a close game. So what was it about this team where it seemed like everything came down to one final play, and still, despite all the adversity, you got a chance to clinch the Ivy League on the last day of the season? Coach DAFT, it was your first year, so I'll ask you first on that one.
Yeah, it was just one of those seasons. I don't know what it was, but we played in a lot of close games, and it came down to the wire a bunch of times. Jared got the ball the last play game against Penn to win that game, come from behind against Yale. So I don't know what it was, but it was pretty exciting. One of the most exciting seasons I've ever been a part of. But it gets pretty intense, and I'm just glad we were able to come out on top on all those close ones.
Yeah, I thought we were a good team, learning how to become a great team. And because a lot of these guys will come back the year after and become a great team. It was just one of those things where we're playing against a lot of good players, a lot of good teams, and that are talented group. And, these guys with Knopf and the 2 wide receivers, I mean, Carlson and Horsted, they really taught us some lessons about how important we always knew it was important to have tall corners. But until you face these guys and see it and realize that, there's other ways to separate besides just speed, it became one of those learning lessons for us. We had a great group of guys on defense, and they would love to play these kind of, but this was a good offensive line, good tight end. So they had weapons in all the right places. So it was one of the great challenges for us as a team. And it's just the way the offense kept us in the game. It kept on coming back and back and back. It was, it was a fun game to coach it. I mean, everybody's saying, as a defensive coordinator, you give up 44 points. Well, that's why I got no hair. But bottom line is, I think our experience says hang in there, hang in there, hang in there, and then eventually we're gonna make some plays. And we didn't think they could stop our offense. So, and we were right about that, especially in the fourth quarter.
Right to the line of scrimmage again.
This drive winds up being over 5 minutes, guys, to start the day. What's it like for an offense? Jared, we'll start with you, and then Matt, having kind of wait a little bit longer than usual to get that first hit and get those butterflies out. Can't be an easy spot to be in.
Yeah, it's definitely having our Dartmouth defense is definitely pretty unusual. I feel like even if we lost the toss and another team got the ball, we'd be on the field in a minute or two. So obviously you just keep your cool in this situation, try to stay warm, and we all still had we were still ready to go, obviously, whenever we got the ball. So we were just waiting for our big green to get a stop, and obviously we were ready once we got on the field. But it definitely is a little bit different than starting with the ball or having your defense go 3 and out, but it is what it is, and obviously our defense played well enough to where we are able to get the job done at the end of the day.
Yeah, no doubt. It's the nerves build up the longer you go without getting on the field. The way I am, like, I'm nervous up until the first play comes, and then after that I'm just playing. So when you're waiting over there for 5 minutes, it's tough, but it's fun watching this defense. It's star-studded, man. Looking at all these guys, man, I miss playing with them. Bunch of stuff. A lot of Chicagoland area guys out there. The captain, Don Dubs, for being one of the best recruiters in the Ivy League, man. Can't say enough about that.
You make me proud every time I see what you do on the field and off the field. Keep it up.
Off the field, I'm not so sure.
I don't know, that visit to Rush Memorial was pretty impressive.
Yeah, that was a cool thing. I had a good time going there, meeting some of those kids, and hopefully bringing a smile to their faces with this ugly mug, you know.
He was jockeying with Stephen Carlson in the back of the end zone.
I mean, there's a perfect example of Danny Mack going against Carlson there, and you got 6'4", 6'5", and Danny's is got the heart of a 6'4", 6'5" guy, but he's more in that 5'8", 5'9" range, and with those just kind of matchups you gotta make plays in. And I thought he made a pretty good play there. It's just that little yellow flag came out.
Yeah, those guys are anomalies, man. Those guys are tall, fast, strong, good players. It's tough to guard them.
And Princeton marches 82 yards.
That's a Charlie Volker with a 1-yard touchdown, and I don't know if it's the officiating crew, but there's a lot of penalties in this game. Last week's Woods Watch Party just won on Dartmouth. You got 10 this week on the Big Green and 7 against Princeton. So it's definitely a narrative in this game. A lot of penalties called.
Yeah, we usually do a great job with that. We're one of the least penalized teams in the country. But, yeah, some of those games, it kind of starts to pile on you a little bit. But, like Matt said, when you don't have the ball, you get warmed up. And, even after pregame, you go back in and then you come back out, So it's probably like a half hour since these guys have really done anything. So you want to kind of get going, at this point, kind of itching to get on the field.
This is a Jeremiah Duche with the block kick. He must have the most blocked kicks per play in the history of football. Can you guys explain what his secret was? I think he had 5 in his career, which is unheard of.
That's just effort, man. Like, a lot of guys line up for field goal block or field goal and go out there, and it's just another play where you can kind of relax. And he didn't do that, and it just showed after, maybe 10 times it doesn't do anything, but then that one time where the operation's a little slow, you get that tip, and that's just staying true to the process and trusting it. So that's what that is, just effort, time after time.
I think that in itself is a huge sign of why Dartmouth football has its success. You see right there, that kind of takes momentum away from Princeton. They just scored a touchdown now. They don't have an extra point, and then Drew Estrada brings a kickoff return back 60 yards. It's like that momentum and the fact that we fire on all assets. We have our special teams doing stuff like this that sets the offense up for easy score, easy drive.
Nice run back.
Yeah, I mean, we take a lot of pride and put a lot of time and effort into every phase of the game, and our block team is one of the best in the country with the ability, and JD's arms were extremely long, so we had a great natural timing of when to get that hand up.
I do want to say that kick return was exactly 60 yards. So, Jared, think about a broadcasting career eventually. Good math. But it was brought back because of a holding penalty. So 2 quick flags, maybe influencing the end a bit. But, Coach DAFT, I want to bring you in again with your approach to this Princeton defense. I mean, you had the two-headed monster quarterback, so many different options. Was there a part of this defense you thought you could attack and have success against coming in?
Like Matt had said, they had gone through some injuries, and we were aware of that, I think, mainly on their defensive front. So we weren't sure if things were going to get changed because of that, and they were going to alter some of the things that they were doing. But, yeah, actually, as the game unfolds, you'll kind of see, we had to feed the hot hand, and that was Jared this game. And, he ended up with a lot more carries than maybe we thought going in. But, he was a guy that was only getting better. This is his sophomore year, every single game, and this was kind of the icing on the cake for that season, what he was able to do in this game.
Yeah, that defensive front, though, at one point, I think they threw in like an offensive guard at D tackle. Like he trotted out there. And I was like, geez, these guys have been through a lot of injuries this year. But yeah, this offense had some studs on it. Estrada right there, he can play. He can fly too.
Most of it running
Yeah, young Estrada, number 26.
Yeah, I was trying to figure out who that was on the first return. I go, oh, that's Estrada.
Tackle across the 50. It's
Oh,
There's
God.
Jared, you made it.
That's running angry right there, man.
There he is. There's 1-3.
Running behind you, big guy.
Nah.
GERBINO, the second leading rusher for the Big Green this year.
Yeah.
Behind
What was that play called? Was that?
averaging 4.2
I forget that play call. The QB power.
You know what? I don't remember either. I don't think I recall that.
That's what I was trying to remember before coming to this game. I filtered out all the calls from this year, and I was trying to remember. We made one play call. I think it was like it must have been like 15, 20 times because we were hitting it for 10, 15 yards every single play.
Yeah, you gotta go with what's working. You got those big offensive linemen in front and 230-pound guy catching the ball in the backfield.
250 now, coach. Imagine. Oh.
You need an inhaler out there.
Yeah.
I remember that's Honeycutt right there. Honeycutt had injured his knee halfway through the season, and it was pretty cool because he was able to come back and contribute and have a few catches this game, and he's kind of playing on one leg a little bit, but it's going to be hard to keep him out.
That's all he needs is one leg the way he plays. Man, talk about a baller.
Second and 3, it was a 7-yard pickup through the air to Honeycutt. Ball at the 30.
The Kill Commons boys. Oh, there he is, pulling. Yeah, man.
That's a score right there.
The workhorse right there.
That Ryder? Nice. Nice little follow there, man. Way to follow the guard.
One of the best teammates I've ever had, I think, Robert Stone.
Yeah, he's a great guy.
8, 9, 10, 12 yards after the first hit. Taking the Princeton defense with him.
Now here's GERBINO checking.
Oh, okay.
Well, you can see the lettuce a little, no? Or is that just my neck thing?
He actually caught 2 passes.
I don't know. That might be a little lettuce.
Are you wearing a scarf in this game?
No. Yeah.
It was a little bit cold, I remember, but
This is, back in the long hair days for both of us, GERBINO. I'm trying to grow mine back out. As you can see, it's a long
89.
process.
Is that Stevie Johnson, 89?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Okay. He's a tough hombre.
Oh, yeah.
He didn't say much, though.
That, you get him going outside of the facility a little bit.
Oh, really?
He's got some jokes. Oh, yeah.
Okay. Well, he doesn't say much to the coaches then.
Oh, no, he's too focused during while he's at the facility. He's just focused on ball. But we had some tight ends that could bang, too. The O-line, and the O-line was good, but the thing that I think put us over the edge with our running game was our tight ends and receivers like to block. They like to get their nose in there and get after it a little bit, which really makes a difference. That's what breaks off the long runs is the skill players and tight ends getting involved, and I think that was a huge help to us this year with guys like Stews.
Oh, good pickup. Good pickup.
Emery liked that too. He got a few block of the weeks in his cover. He liked throwing his body at the defenders a little bit. Love that.
Second and 14, but now incomplete. It's 3rd and 14.
Thompson had room there to make the catch. The ball just short hopped him.
That guy was a force on everything. Special teams, receiver, blocking, catching.
3.5 per game, but that's really gone up in Ivy League play, particularly of late.
Here it comes again.
Goes for the hard count.
They like that little even front and that split backers.
Cross dog, what do we got here?
Oh, they went overload weak. Came out of it.
yeah, I think it definitely took us a minute to get going in this game. We definitely had a better second half than I think the first half. If I remember correctly.
Well, I know we outscored them in the fourth quarter big time, right?
Yeah, I think it was like one of those highest scoring fourth quarters ever, maybe, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, try 34 points.
Like I said, we scored a lot of points in the fourth quarter.
After, spoiler alert, 0 in the third, which this box score blows my mind. I'm excited to see it all with you guys. as
David Smith kicking the ball here.
There he is.
Reliable.
And it is good.
Good. We're on the board.
That's key getting some points out of that. You know, they went a long drive and you know, we needed to put a drive together, eat up some more clock too, and not put our defense right back out on the field. So it was good that we got some points out of that. Obviously, the block kick, it kind of makes it a little bit better. So they're only up by a field goal now.
Yeah, we're spending all that time trying to come up with a couple answers for him. Had the head man over there advising us, giving us some tips, you know. So he always likes to come over and visit with us, get us going.
I do want to quickly say, considering scarps were brought up, 43 degrees and windy for this game on November 18th, season finale, as we said. So I think you can be forgiven for some extra layers, right?
He's from Rochester, man. He's tough.
That's true. That's a good point.
Loneliest city in America.
Again, Columbia, like Dartmouth, needs Yale to lose.
We love it like that. We like when the weather's like that.
He's got a little flair about him too, you know. He's got a little flamboyance about him.
Remarkable turnaround for the Lions. Coach Alvin in year 3.
David Smith takes a run at the football and boots it down to Tiger Besh at the 2-yard line. He fields.
All right, here we go.
Darts far side up to the 20, 25. He hurdles from
Yeah, that's something else about just the culture at Dartmouth is you look out on the kickoff team and you got like 5 starters running down the field at full speed, and you don't really see that in a lot of places. Moen out there famed for his kickoff speed. You know, he got down there fast and laid the wood, especially with his long hair. He's kind of like a Samson situation. He cut the hair and lost some of his powers. But
you got Emmanuel's, you got Darius is out there. Yeah.
Kai, Boyd, Moen.
Let's see what Dartmouth's defense
What's
can
with
do here.
trainers?
Chad Knopf, the quarterback.
Yeah, I think Trainer had the green tape on. He like scraped himself or something, and he had to get that taped up before going out on the field. But my favorite Trainer accessory is the neck roll right here, man. He hated wearing it. The trainers had to like pin him down to the floor to get it on him. But man, when he wore it, he looked tough out there. Not like a little dick buckets out there. But we gave him a lot of crap for that because he hated wearing it, man.
Well, he's got the number on, and he's from the right state.
Oh, yeah.
You know? So.
And he's a good player, too.
Yeah. He was, as you remember, he was fun to recruit, you know?
Mm-hmm.
You two probably lived, what, 15 miles from each other, if that much?
Oh, yeah, we grew up close, and we didn't know each other, but then after he committed, we ended up getting together before going to Dartmouth. We had some mutual friends who connected us, so we got together, and we were roommates for a few years at Dartmouth, and great friends since that first meeting. So love the guy.
There's a great tackle by my man.
JB,
baby.
Brought the juice.
Lot of juice. Nice tackle. It's our boy Tiger Betch there, number 7 for Princeton. He was a good slot. Yeah, they're going a little empty on us now. Yeah, we got everything. We got the whole kitchen sink. There comes another flag. I know Eric's still mad about that one. Didn't take much to get him riled up. Miley?
Oh, Miley, man, he was fun to play with. He got after it, got around the field.
As a freshman, he was definitely the most intimidating player on the team. Our freshman year, a lot of guys were scared of that guy. For several reasons.
you mean on the field or off the field or both?
Both.
Him and Nicky were pretty tight, right? Him and Nicky Tompkins, they were
Different person. I feel like they had such different personalities, though.
But they're the Jersey boys. It's the Jersey boys. They stick together. I remember on my official visit in Nicky's room, he was playing Fetty Wap, Trap Queen, because Fetty Wap's from Jersey. That's my first memory of Nicky and Miley. They were fist bumping to Fetty Wap in the chokes.
Get out of here.
Yeah, oh yeah. That official visit, man. It was a fun one.
That's the reason you committed, right?
No, I committed. I committed in October, but that was a fun time.
Yeah, he went early decision. So I still remember the day in school and BC had offered you. You remember that? And I'm going, oh man, we're gonna lose him to BC now.
No, they came in late with some preferred walk-on thing, but I was fully into the big green up at Hanover, man. I kind of forced your hand a little bit. I remember calling you and being like, if you offer me, I'll commit right now. And then the next week got the offer committed and haven't looked back since.
Yeah, rest is history. This is a great play by Jack here on the swing. Him against Quigley, 25. What a great hit. Great form tackle.
On the broadcast, they said Traynor missed a tackle earlier this drive, and he's going to be taking it out on Princeton the rest of the day because he was so upset he missed one, and he winds up with 14 in this game to lead everybody.
Yeah, that sounds like Jack to me, leading the team in tackles. He did that quite a few times.
Quick kick.
Yeah, that's him and Eric were fun to coach together. You got two guys that could fly and had great football instincts, great football knowledge. There's Jasper there, number 4. He was built like a tight end. I mean, you didn't realize how big 4 was until you line up against the kid, you know. Heck of a baseball player, too. Heck of a baseball player.
I think he's playing tight end right now for the Bears.
He is, isn't he?
Touchdown for the Bears last year, actually. In 6 games, he had, I think, 11 catches or so. I've not seen him on the field yet this year, though.
That kind of push, 1st and 10 at the 18. Flat-footed Knopf fires far side. Volker with the catch, running back up.
The thing about Knopf is, he's tall enough where he can just sit there and, as a 5th-year guy, he could really had a great ability to go from, 1 to 2 to 3. And,
pass after pass.
Talk about taking what you give somebody. He did a great job. I think against Harvard, he had completed his first 20 or 22 passes of the game, and so he takes what you give him, as they say.
Oh, look at Miley here, battling through it.
Yeah.
8 for 11 on the year.
Uh-oh. Here comes Emmanuel's.
Dave.
Here comes Dr. Emmanuel's.
Dr. Dave.
Not what he wants to do on senior day, not what he wants to do on any.
He wasn't a nervous Nelly.
Come off limping. Now 3rd and a long 2.
I mean, he definitely knew.
Just outside the 10, it needs to get to the 8. Knopf sends Horsted in motion from right to left. Now he checks back on the right side of the line. Snap, hand up.
There he is.
There you go. There you go. Now we're talking.
Some long drives. You only had the ball one time in the first quarter?
Yeah, I think so, right?
Yeah, you guys went 4:45 to get the field goal. This drive is just over 5 minutes right now, and they started with a 5-minute drive. So there you go. The first quarter is officially over, and it's only the beginning. You can't imagine how many more points are coming on the board when we come back on the Woods Watch Party. Stay tuned.
Make your debit card green. Big green. Select from 16 options by visiting any Ledyard Bank location or calling 888-746-4562. Ledyard's online and mobile banking includes free personal mobile check deposit, so you can show all your Dartmouth pride on your home turf. Equal housing lender, member FDIC.
Hi, I'm Pierre LeBlanc, president of Engelberth Construction. For over 40 years, we've been recognized as one of the largest and most dynamic commercial construction companies in northern New England. As a premier builder and partner of Dartmouth Athletics, we have built many facilities on campus. And at Engelberth Construction, we truly believe in building relationships for life. Go Big Green.
Growing your business isn't just one thing, it's a million little things. Should you lease, rent, or own? How fast can you get that part? Does it fit the budget? That's what your local CAP dealer is here for. With expert advice, flexible financing, and industry-leading equipment, you can get the job done, day after day. For a limited time at Milton Cat, get 0% for 60 months on select new Cat compact equipment.
We are back for the second quarter here. Not a ton of offense so far, but as we rejoin the action, Coach Job's a big play here at the goal line, and Princeton slowly but surely has been driving down the field, at least in the early going.
Yeah, they've been doing a great job of nickel and diming us, and they get I thought of all the offensive lines we had faced that year, they were probably the strongest and most physical that we had seen, very similar to our young juniors and guys that were playing for us. But it was the type of line where we had a hard time beating them one-on-one. We could get some, nominal pressure, but not a lot. And we didn't have anybody beating anybody, and that's frustrating because you got to make a play or two.
Princeton calling Edie, the freshman.
And here we're bringing the nickel off the corner. And again, he puts it right on the money to Horsted, And I think we were probably playing man-free there. Here we came clean, and he does just enough, So those are the kind of ones where you start shaking your head a little bit. You do get somebody clean, and he still makes a play. He made it, There's a reason why he was the player of the year, I think. So, but we kept on chasing him.
There's some great matchups with Horsted and Isaiah Swan a little later in the game, so that's always fun to see those guys do battle. And speaking of which, just the last couple of years that we've been watching since the ESPN Plus coverage started, Princeton and Dartmouth, it's always electric. Yankee Stadium last year, and then really what wound up in the championship game for the whole league in New Jersey a couple of years ago. I mean, I'll ask Matt, then Jared, and coaches, you can chime in, but where do you kind of rank Princeton in terms of teams you want to beat? Is that, for you guys, the top rivalry in the Ivy League? Is it something else, or maybe do they all blend together? What's your take on Dartmouth versus Princeton?
Yeah, I think definitely one of the top rivalries. I don't know if it's a historic rivalry or anything like that, but at least while we were there, Princeton was always good, and a team that you had to play a good game against to have a shot at the Ivy League title. Obviously this year, or in this game, beating them would give us a shot if Yale ended up losing. And the next year, we met them. I think we were both 6-0, and the winning of that game was, going to end up being the Ivy League champion. And we ended up losing that one, but that was an awesome game. That was a fun game to play. And then Jared, I'm sure you can talk more about the game this past year at Yankee Stadium. I was there, but memories are not so strong because I was in the stands. And yeah, it was a fun time.
Start with the football at the 20-yard line.
And Dartmouth had a nice drive, 3 first downs.
I think after this game, it's been personally, I think the Dartmouth-Princeton rivalry started to pick up a little bit. Obviously, two really good teams. I think both of our schools did a great job recruiting. I think they do a great job recruiting in general. I think that's why we have such good success. I think after this game, Princeton was kind of looking to come in the next year, and they were we had a target on our back after this game. And I think it kind of flipped again this past season when we went to Princeton my junior year. And obviously, we lost that nail biter. We ended up not winning Ivy League because of it. So I think it's kind of been that rivalry ever since. I think this game might have sparked it a little bit.
Continues to dive forward, gets 4 yards up to the 24-yard line.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. Yeah, because this is the first time, playing against Princeton for me, and it was a back and forth game, as you'll see, and then obviously, the next 2 games, another tight game, and then playing Yankee Stadium. So. Yeah, they're very well coached, but it's fun to play them, and it definitely has a little bit more intensity to it.
Yeah, I mean, up until this year was we had, I think for the last 20 some years or almost 30 had been the last game of the season, and so it was kind of you have the next 9 months to chew on something. It's usually that last game, and then, as Jared said, and Matt, both teams started getting in the late, from 2015 on. I mean, those were two of the top 3 or 4 teams in the league every year. So there was a lot of championship caliber players and a lot of championship type games. And it was pretty neat. For me, it's special because I coach there. And so, it's always going to be special. And I know a lot of the people on that other sideline, but my biggest thing is, we got to let the players do their thing and try not to overcoach my guys or anything like that. So it's always a little special. They're all special, but this one's always a little extra special for myself. And so I always get a kick out of playing these guys, and we've had really good success against them. So it's been fun from that point too. And the last 3 years have been crazy. It's been awesome. And the guys this year, I mean, even 2018, that game is one of the best football games I've ever been in. You talk about Frazier and Muhammad Ali. That's really what you were talking about that year. I mean, they had the best scoring offense. We had the second best scoring offense. We had one of the top defenses. They were in the top 5 defensively. It was just, and then this year we came back with a situation where they had like a 19-game winning streak and we had like a 9-game winning streak. So it's just 2 teams that really look forward to playing each other.
13-3 lead for Princeton. Goes left to right here in the second. Snap to GERBINO. Fakes the handoff. Keeps it himself. Swings it far right.
The old stiff arm there, Jared. I like it.
Loses about a half a yard.
Took 3 guys to bring you down.
I had the double gloves on. I wasn't throwing the ball.
Hennigan back out. GERBINO's off.
Didn't tap into that one yet.
About the 2 most
I think he had 2 passes, both completed, entering this game. Probably more than that, but just checking through the box scores. Holy Cross, you had your first career pass, and we were talking about it on a previous Woods Watch party. I mean, that's just got to be a defense is tearing their hair out if you can show that you can throw the ball, which you obviously did toward the end of your career.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, Coach DAFT having faith in me and developing me and being able to see that I was ready to throw, it obviously changes the game. It puts another perspective in. And then you got to add all the other quarterbacks I played with, Derek, Kyler, Jack, Hennigan. You add guys like that to it. If I was a defensive coach, I'd be having trouble game planning that. Don't really know what's going to happen.
Wrist hand cast.
Yeah, QBJ was a big part of this team, man. Obviously captain, but he was just like a calming presence, man. Whenever you thought a game was out of reach, you looked over at him, and you knew he was calm, ready to go, things like that. Also, one of the smartest guys and players I ever played with. That must have been fun to be in the meeting room with him, Coach DAFT and Jared. It's probably impressive to see him, review tape and get ready to play opponents.
I remember when Jack was trying out for the 49ers and he got the playbook, and Coach DAFT was telling us that he came to Coach DAFT about it and wanted help learning it, and he said that he ended up learning it, the whole thing, in one night.
Yeah, we were deciphering it because they didn't get they got a certain portion of it, but there wasn't much explanation for it. So we were kind of like trying to decipher the code and figure out why things were named a certain way, and so it was pretty fun. So, Jack was a extremely prepared individual, and he wanted to give himself the best chance when it got to minicamp.
We just saw the flying Hawaiian recover a muffed punt, man. Boone Stratton, that's one of the guys with the best motor on and off the field I've ever been around.
Boy, that's the truth. Great hair too, man.
Oh yeah.
Great hair.
Consecutive keepers in a row that he's gotten little or no yardage.
Yeah, he never had a bad day.
50 to go. Second quarter.
That's another big special teams play, you know. So, oh, here comes the blitz. Good throw.
Definitely gotta capitalize on this field position.
And that makes it 3rd and 3.
First fumble recovery of the year.
There's a good matchup for us, Estrada against that guy.
Versus anyone.
Exactly.
Here at home against Columbia in the 4th quarter, but Dartmouth couldn't.
Oh, look at 91. That's Phil Burton. I don't know if you remember that, but Phil used to put on 2 jerseys. He'd have 91 over his regular jersey out there playing tight end, so he could be eligible.
GERBINO waves Estrada in motion.
He turned into a great player. I think he was all league, or he was all league his senior year, man. But look at him, 91, man. Living the dream, playing tight end.
Green is looking for a good hole on the left side.
Yeah.
Of the Dartmouth offense, Matt KASKEY.
I got his dad's bobblehead.
Good to see the Common twins back. John at left.
Sid Finch.
Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah, I think I got it back here somewhere. Next to my Dartmouth helmet.
Some good memorabilia.
Yeah.
So Dartmouth can get a first down.
Is that the dream for every offensive lineman to get a chance to get that big guy touchdown?
Oh God, yeah. I mean, I was trying to get Coach Clark to get me a tackle-eligible play for about 3 years. Never ended up getting it. Jake Wadone, he ended up filling that role, Phil Burton, once he moved to right tackle. So, I mean, I just was not the athlete to be catching touchdowns.
Woo! There you go. There you go.
The senior gets it done on senior day.
Good stuff right there.
Well, that's a great job of finishing.
That's huge.
Look at that hole. Oh,
Is that John Phil Commons coming around on the pole?
Yeah.
34, he's a good backer. I think that was one of the only times I've been really stood up in my life was actually this game. I think we're going to see it later. Hopefully we don't see it, but
34 is one of the Johnson boys. They're a great family of linebackers, and he was a heck of a player. I think he was a first-team All-Ivy guy with Jack. I think he was one of the other first-team All-Ivy guys, 34.
Yeah, he flew around out there, man.
Saw some stars when I hit him one time.
Yeah, Dartmouth takes advantage.
Oh, look at Chalmers back.
Oh, there's Chalmers.
Did Nico play this game? Or was he not playing?
No, he was. He played this game. I actually talked to him today. He's down to like, I think he's down to like 205 right now, but he's like 310 in this game. He could be playing DB now.
Is he skinnier?
Oh, is that Chalmers?
Yeah, he said he lost 100 pounds.
Yeah, that's what I heard.
I saw a picture of him. I was kind of scared of it, to be honest.
Yeah, man. I mean, with that personality, good looks, it's just like, it's not fair for the rest of us.
Or give him a call, 603-863-1000.
So far, Adam, every team
That was Ryder Stone's 20th career touchdown, guys, first of the day. And I've been meaning to ask, you don't have to give me an exact number, Coach Daft, but when you have GERBINO at the quarterback and Stone at the running back, how many plays ballpark are there really in the playbook? Because watching this a little earlier to get ready to watch it with you guys, if fake jet sweep, is it really just, okay, GERBINO go that way or go that way? It really seems like you've got it down to a pretty simple science, unless it's a lot more complicated than I think.
Yeah, there's some where he's reading it, some where he's not. But when he has opportunity, when one of those two guys is going to carry it, then good things are happening because they're both physical runners. You know, run through contact, arm tackles, usually fall forward for another one or two. That's what makes those good runners into great runners. And so, Ryder really focused on that this year. That season, and he did a great job of just going north and south and finishing runs, and Jared definitely always does that a great job in that, and he only got better as this season went along.
There's Isaiah. One of those matchups you were talking about against Horsted there. Did a nice job of stripping it here.
A couple hundred consecutive completions, it feels like, for Knopf. He's 14.
Was this a game where Swanee came back from an injury, Coach Dove?
After that break.
Yes, yeah.
I think there's a play where Horsted one-hand snags it over Swanee, and he says, "Welcome back from vacation," or something funny like that.
Yeah, that was the Yale game.
Was that the Yale game? A different kid?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. That was the Yale game, yeah.
First team last year. Ramirez.
And then he probably went and got a pick six the next play and said, "How you like that?"
Yeah. That would be Swanee.
Yeah.
That Knopf has for himself up front.
All right. There's Big Jackson Perry and Moen getting after it on the weak side. Here we go.
Throws, caught, back to Horsted. He makes the grab.
This is when they got the first down by about a 6 inches here.
Fifth catch of the day for Horsted, leading the Ivy League.
They do a nice job of hurrying you up. Once they get a first down, they try to.
Yeah, it might have been the year before they had instant replay in the Ivy League too, I want to say.
Yeah.
Yeah, the very next year was the first.
Yeah, they probably would have reviewed that one.
Averaging 117 yards a game in receptions. Wow.
A lot of close plays later in this game with all the scoring in the fourth quarter. So you guys would have been here till midnight maybe, if replay existed back then.
Shuffle pass out near side to Volker, trying to stretch the field.
That's a heck of a job there by Kai setting the edge and Jack running down one of the fastest guys in the Ivy League. Volker's is a medalist on their track team.
He's had 5 podium finishes in the sprints and the HEPs, indoors and outdoors, in his 3 years at Princeton.
Yeah, but you can see they're really trying to tempo us big time. But they do a great job with their screen game and their size. Their 39 there is a heck of a H-back, fullback type. You can see how he's built. He's built like a brick,
Miley must have sprained his ankle or something this game. He's been, you can tell he's favoring it, but he wants to, stay out there. I think this is his last game, right?
Yeah, exactly.
He winds up with 13 tackles, one behind Trainer for the game high. Pretty impressive if he was playing on a bad ankle.
It's heroic.
A lot of tackles for 2 inside backers right there, Coach Dobes.
And Gordo?
Well, there was a lot of plays, Coach Daft.
It's almost like they got a good coach or something.
What was the time of possession, Tyler?
Give me a minute. It's a lot to add up.
Yeah. Yeah.
Stephen Mejia now, who had been injured for most of the season and made.
He just had a lot of weapons, and so we actually forced a punt here. Yeah.
I got it for you. 34 minutes and 59 seconds, so 35 minutes for Dartmouth and 25 for Princeton. So.
Pretty good one.
I tell you what a great job our offense did at controlling the ball.
Yeah, I think we ended up just running it a lot, and they ended up throwing it a lot this game.
Yes, I can confirm that. 57 rushing attempts from Dartmouth, 22 from Princeton, and then just 20 passes from the Big Green, 37 for the Tigers.
Okay. How many times they throw it?
37.
37.
37 for 46 on the day.
Stephen Johnston, tight end, will stack up on the left, as will Vito Penza. Cooper stays in there.
There aren't many slow points in this game, guys. This isn't one of them, but I want to make sure I got to ask. Coming into this game, you had just played at Fenway Park. Next time you play Princeton, or 2 years after this, is at Yankee Stadium. I mean, do you have any playing in a baseball stadium stories? How different was it? How good are the memories from those experiences? I mean, it sounds like a dream come true, honestly, to play at Fenway and Yankee Stadium. I know, Matt, you said you were in the stands at Yankee Stadium. Were you out there at Fenway?
Yeah, I was out there at Fenway. That was one of the coldest games I've ever played in. So that's kind of the most of what I remember. But for me, it was just kind of weird having it was a different backdrop, so it kind of messed with your vision a little bit. It's good that I'm offensive lineman, so it's not that big of a deal. But I was wondering, like, Coach Daft, have you ever played in a weird stadium like that? Does that mess with your accuracy at all? Because I feel like the weird background and shape of the field kind of mess with my eyes a little bit out there.
Yeah, it does, and people talk about that when you play in basketball arenas too, just your depth perception. But yeah, it definitely is unusual. Remember, we were on the same sideline that game, and that was really uncomfortable because the other team's like 10 yards away from you. But those games are fun. It was a great experience.
I got a funny Fenway story. Coming to the game, coach calls a play, look at it, all right, get going. I end up handing the ball off with like a little fake sweep. I end up handing the ball off for like a 5-yard tackle, and I carry out my fake. And I'm running through this hole, and it's like 5 yards wide. I'm like, damn, if I would have had that ball, I would have scored a 70-yard touchdown. So the play is over. I come out. I go over to Jake Pilata, and I'm like, yeah, dude, I wish I could have kept the ball in that play. And he was like, it was a quarterback run. You did the wrong play. You handed it off. That was a sophomore Jared mistake.
Oh, that's awesome.
I must say also, though, I am from New York, so it's a little biased, but it was cool seeing both Fenway and New York Stadium. Obviously, the Yankee Stadium's a little newer, so I think the locker room they had us in and all that was really high tech. It was like a really cool experience. They both were really awesome experiences. I think it also helped that it wasn't like 10 degrees though at the Yankees here, because I think a lot of us were kind of skeptical about that when it was so cold on the sideline. But they're both great experiences, obviously.
Did you guys get the home locker room for the Yankee game?
Yeah, we did.
We like Derek Jeter's locker. It was really cool.
Oh wow!
Yeah.
And
we had the visitors. We had the visitors in Fenway, and that was like
I don't even think that must have been like that was a visitor's locker room, really.
I think so. It was not a nice locker room. For sure.
High school locker room.
4-down territory, second and about a half yard for Dartmouth.
I was impressed. I didn't hear really anyone complain that you guys had to give up that home game against Princeton to go to Yankee Stadium. And the competitive nature, obviously you wanted to get revenge for the year before, and it wound up being such an important game. But I was impressed that you guys, I wasn't listening for complaints about it, but it didn't seem to be an issue, and obviously you took care of business at Yankee Stadium. So I was impressed by that.
I mean, both of those venues, I mean, as players and coaches, I mean, they're in some cases one time in your lifetime type things, and it was like Kevin said, really two really neat experiences. But the field at Yankee Stadium was just so nice, and the way they treated us, I mean, it was, Fenway treated us well, but I tell you, we felt like, it was a big-time game at Yankee Stadium, and the people there, you couldn't find a more accommodating and helpful, and from the grounds crew through the general manager. I mean, they made us feel like, we were the Yankees. So it was really neat. Very unbelievable experience. Unbelievable.
Yeah, that one we had for calling the plays. There was this huge suite, and there was like 4 of us in there, and I mean, it was a suite for about 50 people. But we get up there, and the foul pole's like right in the middle. So anything like right around the 50-yard line, you kind of have to get up and walk around to see what's going on.
You guys
this team had a stable backs, though. I mean, we were talking about Ryder Stone, but you can get the ball to Rashad Cooper right here, or Miles Smith, number 28. And, I mean, those guys could have been starting backs anywhere else.
I think at times it's tough. We have so many offensive weapons to use. It's hard because you got to go with the high hand, like Coach Daft said earlier, but we really had so many different guys we could get the ball.
To punch it in from 3 yards out and to take the lead.
Well, I know as a defensive coordinator, that's tough to prepare for when there's so many weapons on the other side.
Ryder Stone's the running back. Here's the snap, handoff Stone, twisted down right as he hit.
I think I was the solid receiver coach that, was I?
Yeah, you were in receiver a little bit in this game. I don't think we ended up throwing it to you, though. I think you were covered most of the time. Never got open.
Probably triple covered there.
Hey, it's all that work we gave you when you were a freshman on the scout team, man.
Seriously, I know. That was one of my favorite. That whole year of practice was my favorite year of practice ever. That was so fun.
They wave Estrada in motion, the only wide receiver. Here's the snap, the handoff. Keeper by GERBINO to the end zone.
You're still running, man. You're still running.
Oh, yeah.
Wow. That's a well-designed play there, Coach Dad. Wow, look at that hole.
That's a nice one.
Oh, my Lord.
Just started getting going right here at the end of the first half, and I want to say probably most of your yards are in the second half. Got to be.
GERBINO with.
Do you remember the thought process, or was it a QB read? Do you know? Remember Coach DAFT? It was 2nd and 1, and a rare occurrence, Stone doesn't gain any yards. Do you know you're going to have to keep it in GERBINO's hands for the next play with 1 yard to gain, or was that a QB read there? Do you remember?
I don't think that one was. But yeah, I definitely want to mix in Jared as much as I can, and not wear him out, but at the same, keep him fresh, but definitely give him the ball enough so he can make a difference in the game. Didn't want to come out of this game saying, hey, we should have gave it to Jared more often.
My favorite part about that play is everyone on the field, both sides, knew what was coming and just couldn't do anything about it. Their team was going to run you over, man.
We talked about that during the game. We were like, guys, we both know, what's happening.
Yeah, talking to the D-line, guys, come on. You guys got to figure this out at some point.
That was a great drive. 3, 5, 6 first downs.
What can you do, Coach Dobbs? If you're calling the defensive plays for Princeton, you're trying to defend Jared GERBINO. Is there a strategy?
Yeah, put as many people in the box as you possibly can, and and then hope somebody can tackle him. But yeah, you try to keep it out of his hands, but that's not going to happen. So you better just have a lot of people in the box.
Stays on his feet across the 20.
See if you can slow him down a little bit.
Goes to the 23. Now, Wayne, at what point would you feel comfortable?
I know in Yankee Stadium game they were watching him in pregame warm-up, seeing how healthy he was. They had about 6 guys watching him. I think they had about 8 guys moving wherever he moved.
Dartmouth executed it perfectly at the end of the first half. They used timeouts and forced Brown to kick, and then they.
You ever had maybe a friend on a different team, Jared, who has told you what it's like to try to tackle you? Who was maybe, I know you don't tackle in practice, but someone try to give you the description of what it's like trying to actually bring you down?
It's funny because I would beef with our defense every day of practice because there would be times where I lower my shoulder in practice. I'm just so used to it, and they would always get mad because they can't touch me. So almost every day it would be like, dude, I would have ran you over there. Oh, I would have tackled you there. No, I really don't know no one from around here went to Ivy League or anything like that. I did one kid I played in high school, Jameer Jones, went to Notre Dame. His brother's on the
There we go.
His brother's on the Steelers right now. He gave me a nice compliment in high school saying I was one of the hardest guys he had tackled. But none of my guys on Dartmouth really know how hard it is to get me to the ground. They know they can fit me up here and there, but they've never had to actually tackle me, so I'll stand by that.
That's a huge interception by Mo in there, my man Jake. Yeah, we had to change it up a little bit there, so we let Moen drop for a change and rush the other guy. But I think we get a field goal out of this, Kevin?
I don't know. They get us on a personal foul right there?
You did, but it was after the interception, Nick Tompkins' personal foul. So you keep the ball, but 15 yards back. I don't think it's visible on the screen.
Oh, yeah, it doesn't look like. There's Moen. Moen was the tight end in high school, too, so we knew he could catch, He just went the wrong way once we intercepted. We're supposed to set up a return.
Right on the sideline.
Yeah, he went the other way. He went back to where all the tacklers are coming from. Jake the Snake Moen.
That's a great play right there. Gets the ball back in good position.
They've got a lead as well, Wayne. Senior day at Memorial Field. The snap to Hennigan. He drops back, takes a strike down the middle, incomplete.
Woo.
That was in a tough area.
Jared, those guys on our defense saying they would have smoked you in practice. Like, they should be thanking Coach Stevens every day that tackling was not allowed. Because that's I heard some of those hits that you put on defenders, and that can't be fun, especially in November when it's 30 degrees and we're over on Blackman Field.
Appreciate it.
Snap on 2nd and 10. Hennigan pump
I think Swanee and Derek had some major beef. I think me and Nigel and Trainer, we always wanted to hit each other. So if we called back, I wish that would have been able to happen. But maybe it's best that we didn't do that in practice.
Yeah, it was good we saved him for the other team. I like to see you guys on Saturdays and Friday nights. Woo! There you go.
Replay.
Ah! I forgot that one.
They must have made Princeton had to have
That would have been sweet.
Yep.
That'll be just short of a first down, I think.
Nope, they've given him the first down.
He just
Yeah. So when you make contact, when you jump off sides and are in the
He stopped playing there.
Yeah.
Edward Rudzinski.
Turned around, put his hands on his helmet.
KASKEY. First and 10, minute 1 to go in the second quarter.
Okay, minute to go.
Full complement of timeouts. Time not an issue right now for Dartmouth. 4-point lead in the ball. Snap to Hennigan. Drops back, will strike near side. Meller with the catch inside the 30, hit immediately to the 29-yard
Phil
line.
Meller.
Tackled by Dylan.
Wow. How's he doing?
True taste of
He's doing
fall.
well. I think he's still with us down in Virginia. I haven't talked to him in a little bit, actually.
Uh-huh.
He's always a happy kid, though. I'm sure he's doing well wherever he is.
First catch of the day for Hagdorn, the leading
There's Hag.
receiver.
There's
How you
Hag.
doing?
Nice throw, nice catch. Get out of bounds. I like it.
Stone in it back, running back.
Managing that clock, Coach Daft. Nice job.
Yeah, don't want to leave him any time.
We appreciate that.
And an injury timeout. Rudzinski needs to come off for Princeton.
Is that you and Coach Stevens kind of collectively deciding when to use a timeout and when not to? The play before the Hagdorn catch out of bounds, the timeout was used. So it kind of makes sense if you would do it just to stay in the flow of play calling, but who makes that call usually?
It's usually Coach Stevens unless there's an issue. If we got the wrong personnel or something like that, I can always call it from up in the box. But it's usually easier when someone else is watching the game clock while you're looking down at your call sheet. But
Sets, snap, 20 to go.
yeah, that's usually what happens in our scenario here. Jack does a nice job scrambling, get out of bounds here.
14 seconds left, and it makes
Yeah, he's got great awareness of what the clock is, where everybody's at.
Thought maybe he could have cut up field.
He's an underrated runner.
Would have stopped the clock.
Mhm.
Hennigan on the replay.
Yeah, they make it 3rd and 2.
Well, look at that B gap there, though. Two of the guys took off. They were running to the field already. They thought he had thrown it.
First down here, that'll stop the clock.
Maybe you run the football with Stone.
Echo Commons at center.
Here's the snap.
The
3-year
lefty.
starter.
It's a handoff
The lefty.
to Stone, off tackle,
Oh, yeah.
inside the 15 to the 10 to the 8. He's got the first down. 9 seconds.
John was righty, right?
It's second timeout.
I think so. Yeah, I'm not sure, but it seems
Pretty
like
sure he was.
From Hanover first. Here's first and goal at the 8-yard line. 9 seconds
You used a
left.
timeout there, I'm sure you noticed.
Hennigan takes a low snap, scans right, fires to the end zone, incomplete. Emery Thompson at the
Yeah,
goal
one
line.
shot at the end zone, and I think we end up kicking a field goal there.
For a flag wouldn't have changed what Dartmouth's plan is here anyway. With 4 seconds left, here comes the punting unit.
25-yard field goal attempt for David Smith. He's got one on the day.
To answer your question,
But for a game that started with, go ahead.
I was going to say, Smitty did a great job putting the ball through the uprights for us.
The hold is good. The kick is up, and the kick is good.
Sure did there, and this game started with Princeton's offense, 2 5-minute drives resulting in touchdowns. Impressive, to say the least, to be able to overcome that and head to halftime with a 7-point lead. That's where we'll take a break here on the Woods Watch Party.
Hi, I'm Chelsea from Wise. I'm at home practicing social distancing just like all of you. For almost 50 years, Wise has supported survivors in times of stress and crisis. Even during these unusual and uncertain times, we are still here for you and your loved ones. On those inevitably hard days or moments when you're not feeling particularly strong, we are here for you every hour, every day. While it feels like everything in our world has come to a halt, violence doesn't stop just because there's a virus. Call 866-348-9473, and to chat with us online, visit our website, wiseuv.org. Call 866-348-9473. You are not alone, and you don't have to be in a crisis to call.
Domino's is serious about food safety. That's why your pizza stays untouched after baking at 450 degrees. And now that every delivery is contactless, you can safely mix and match any 2 or more for just $5.99 each when you sit around the table, even if it's not the same table.
As a trusted choice firm, the Richards Group has been committed to local communities for decades. We take the time to get to know our clients, their needs, and budget. We're independent, so we work for you, not an insurance company.
We use our expertise to find our clients the best home, auto, and business coverage at the most competitive price.
Our team provides consulting services for employee benefits, retirement plans, human resources, and leadership development.
The Richards Group. Prepare for tomorrow by contacting us today.
We're set for the second half. It's 20-13, Dartmouth in front. It's time for my favorite part of the Woods Watch Party because I overhype halftime locker room meetings as if it's all Hollywood stuff. But we're going to find out, at least as much as these guys remember, what the locker room was like, what they try to work on after the first 2 quarters. Coach Jobs, we'll start with you. I mean, I guess you're trying to stay one step ahead of this offense, but it's almost impossible with all the different weapons they have, I guess, right?
Yeah, it is. And then we're just making sure that, you know, based on the scouting report going in, how much they've differed from it and, you know, where their emphasis is, whether it's personnel, whether it's formation, just what we've seen on tape going into the game and now actually what their game plan is for us. I mean, anytime you play somebody, you've seen 3, 4, 5, 6 games, and now you're trying to figure out, okay, what's their game plan going to be for you? So that's the whole halftime is we're trying to say, okay, this is actually what they're doing. This is how we got to counter it, and this is what we got to do. So spend a lot of time looking at numbers and formations and hit charts, those kind of things.
And for offensive guys, we'll start with you, Coach DAFT. I'm sure Princeton was saying, okay, we got to stop GERBINO. Let's stop GERBINO. And then first play, 11 yards right out of the gate in the third quarter. So you guys aren't making too many changes, it doesn't seem.
No, we definitely talked about we wanted to get Jared the ball more. You know, I don't think I gave it to him enough times in the first half. He definitely finished the first half really well. So we were like, and obviously in the first 2 plays, he gets the ball twice. So definitely wanted to feature him some more. Felt like we had something there and you know, just stick to our game plan. We started off kind of slow, but definitely finished the first half strong and want to come out after halftime and keep that going.
And the ball pops into the air. It stays alive, and Estrada pounces on it back at the 33-yard line.
That was a juggling act going on there.
Well, lucky there.
Yeah, I never saw that. See, I see very little of the offense until the offseason, what actually happens in the game.
That's rare, too. Ryder doesn't usually give it up, so that's rare.
Yeah.
First and 10 at the 33. Instead, it's 3rd and 8 at the 30.
Look like a hot potato there.
Oh, yeah. This was a rainy one, right?
You got cold and windy, 43 degrees. I don't know about rain necessarily, but the ball is probably feeling like a rock.
Yeah. Let's blame that one on the rain, though, even though it might not have rained.
Well, that was the drive.
Yeah.
Started out with a lot of promise with the first down by GERBINO. He got another 4 on the next one, but
There's the big boys out there.
Oh, yeah.
Big Nick, Big Dave.
Big Colin.
Ready to go. Snap from the 33.
That's
drills the football in his second punt of the game. Fair catch called for by Besh up at the 40.
You always got to have a threat out there, you know.
Princeton following a 27-yard punt. Will get first and 10.
Jared, while we have time, I wanted to ask, we've had a lot of great interaction with you and Coach DAFT about the play calling. What was it like? It was his first year, maybe your first full year of usage. I mean, you're being coached by a guy who was drafted by the Titans, part of that AFC Championship team, 99 Music City Miracle, down to the 1-yard line in the Super Bowl. I mean, a lot of offensive coordinators don't have that kind of resume. It must have been pretty cool to learn from him.
100%. Yeah, I think that was one of the best things Coach Stevens did was bring Coach DAFT in. You can kind of see, obviously, after the championship in 2015, things kind of went downhill a little bit, and then when Coach DAFT came in, it just felt like a revival. It was awesome. I mean, one of my favorite coaches. I'm not gonna say here. I can't say he's my favorite coach because I got Coach Stevens, Coach Jones. There's defensive coaches on our team that are all great dudes, but one of my top guys. He knows I love him. Now we're gonna be friends for the rest of our lives. So it was really a good experience. He's definitely the smartest football IQ I've ever been around. Coach DAFT knows the game inside and out, and I think as a player that brings you so much comfort because you know that he's going to be prepared and he's going to prepare you to a certain level to where you're going to be ready for what's ever thrown at you. And I think personally for me that was huge because I wasn't that good at watching film. I didn't watch film in high school, so having Coach DAFT come in and kind of teach me the game, I really started to understand football from a different perspective than I had ever before, and I think that helped me up my game. So it was a pleasure. It's been a pleasure. It'll always be. So.
Yeah, and it's been fun. It was fun coaching Jared because he was a unique talent and hadn't been around someone like that before, that position where, quarterback run game and things like that. So he definitely helped me expand on things that I've had to do and had to adjust to them. And, we had some very honest conversations about how we were going to utilize him, and it was fun. It was fun game planning with a guy like that.
Covered a ton of ground. He wasn't on that side of the field. He was on the other side of the formation. Still scrambled all the way over.
Early in this drive, you can see they're trying to take advantage of our weak side coverage a little bit. Eric's playing on one leg and looked like they had a couple of drive routes coming across there that, he was just a little bit out of position, and he's just such a tough dude. There we go. Now we're talking. So run game wise, I thought we were doing a pretty good job of handling it. They did a really nice job throwing the football.
Jackson Perry lodged it free.
This was
we had good run
right
defense.
there. It was a great job. We just somehow couldn't come up with it.
And Perry tried to jump on it, so did
That was a great hit.
They were just a half step late.
It's tough running into this D-line. Look at the size of everyone out there. I mean, massive human beings.
Fumble for Princeton. They've only lost one of them. Snap to Knopf. He's got time in the pocket.
Great move by Nicky right there.
Yeah.
Inside the 10, tackled at the 7. 12 yards through the air.
And again, there they are working that weak hash, weak sideline, So we're trying to come up with a couple answers to slow that down.
Leading receiver in the Ivy League coming into the day.
When you look at the final score, which will be more than doubled by the end of this, you figure a lot more explosive plays, and I was surprised that really only a handful. So they've done a good job of keeping the offense in front of them, but they just keep chipping away like this, Coach.
Really good at quick throws, catching and throwing. The quarterback's got a great mind. He's like I said, a fifth-year guy with a really good feel for the passing game, and
go to them until Dartmouth proves they can.
They do a really nice job of getting those chunks of 5 to 8 yards and just keep drives going. And like you said, they got a lot of weapons. So they come out, and I think they tie us here, right? Was 20 to 13 at halftime?
Yeah, extra point will tie it here. Charlie Volker's second rushing touchdown, and they mentioned their quarterback, Chad Kanoff. He's on his way to setting the single-season passing record for the Ivy League. So he's obviously.
Yeah, I mean they had him and Lovett at the same time, and so Lovett decided take a year off so that Kanoff could be the starter for a year, and then Lovett came back for his 5th year or whatever you want to call it. So yeah.
They go 60 yards.
And they've done a great job with their quarterbacks there.
9:43 to go. Looking to go for an 8-2 record this season.
So we're all tied up again.
Back to Estrada, 4 or 5 yards deep. He'll take.
Got into this a little bit, guys, in the first half, but I always want to make sure we get the players' recruiting stories. Jared, I know you had preferred walk-on offers from Michigan State, Miami. I mean, the way you wound up developing, you obviously would have found, I think, playing time at those FBS schools. But for you, what was it about Dartmouth that seemed like such a good fit?
I think it was just a family concept. I come from a really big family, really close family, and I got that same feeling when I walked on campus. One of the specific stories was after I took my ACT, I had to get a certain score. I had to retake it so I could get into the school, and I did it. I got a certain score. I come to Dartmouth for a visit, and every single coach congratulated me and knew my name. I think that was a big difference between, say, I was at University of Buffalo or a different school. Obviously there's going to be some coaches that know your name and talk to you, but I felt like every coach at Dartmouth made it personal, and they really knew you, and they really wanted you there. So I think just being wanted and being shown that you were wanted was a huge step in the process. And I remember the OC at that time came for a home visit, and I told him that I was committed right away. It was the first in-home visit I had, and I told him right away. I was just like, this is the place I want to be at. I'm sold. So great environment all around.
Yeah, we had a lot of great conversations about Jared. We really felt that we didn't know what he was going to turn into. We knew he was going to be a heck of a player. We would have taken him in a heartbeat on defense. But obviously once he got there and we saw what he was all about offensively, we knew that his major way he could help us would be on that side of the ball, and that's why he'll tell you about his freshman year. I had him everywhere. Whoever was seeing the ball for the opponent that week is where he went. So he played quarterback, he played H-back, he played wideout, he played running back, and he was just so willing to do whatever we needed him to do to help prepare our defense. I mean, but. Yeah, we were really excited about him off his tape and just the opportunity to add him to our program. We knew he'd be a great one.
Jared, were other colleges trying to convert you to another position?
Yeah, it's actually funny. So Dartmouth was my only offer as a quarterback, which is funny because I didn't. On my sophomore year of high school, I played both ways, but after that, I played strictly quarterback. I think I had 6 or 7 total offers, and all the other 6 or 7 were as a tight end or receiver. I wanted it was funny because Dartmouth was the only quarterback. I ended up committing there, and then my freshman year I ended up switching to tight end and receiver, and then obviously that ended up helping me get back to quarterback and playing at quarterback. But not many schools looked at me actually as a quarterback. Cornell had looked at me as a linebacker. Actually, that was a weird one because I really didn't have any film on defense, but I'm glad I didn't go there.
Oh my God! I mean, you would have brought some wins up there.
Easily down the field.
What about you, Matt? I think you said that you told Dartmouth that if they offered you, you were in. I mean, I figured you'd be getting more attention to the point where you wouldn't need to make an ultimatum like that. But give us an idea of how that worked.
I was not a great high school player. I kind of only got looks because of my size. I would say, I mean, Coach Does, you probably know better than me because you were watching the tape and everything like that, but I was really undeveloped physically, mentally, everything like that. So I didn't even really fully start until halfway through my junior season. So I kind of had to develop over the course of, the off season of my senior year, but I didn't really have many people knocking on the door. But I just love the honesty that Dartmouth had. You could tell, I'm sure, Jared, you know this, but there's some coaches where you're like, oh, this guy is just not telling me the truth. He's like misleading me, telling me I'm going to be this, that, the other thing, and it's not going to work out like that. And I remember, I think one time I asked Coach Dobbs, like, what do you see me doing like my freshman year if I end up committing? And he's like, honestly, like, you're probably just going to develop, practice, get better in practice and everything like that. I was like, okay, at least I can trust this guy. Like, I know he's being honest with me, and that's kind of the feeling I got from the whole staff.
He will lead the league.
Yeah, I mean, we love his size. He comes from a family of athletes. Dad was a good college football player, and his uncle was a Dartmouth guy, so there was some family blood there, and loved his size. And his high school coach is a great dude, very honest, great straight shooter, and him and I are pretty close. And he said, hey, I got somebody you got to take a look at. And when I met the kid, I could just tell, and I just felt like there was that work ethic, there was that desire, that energy. He's a competitive. I don't want to say, I can't swear. So he's an extremely competitive dude, and you just know there's some late bloomers, and we felt like he was going to be one of those late bloomers, and a lot of people will say, well, you can't coach size, and I knew he was a good athlete. It was just a matter of when was he going to mature physically and mentally, and it all worked out. Everybody on the staff fell in love with the kid when he visited, and we said, hey, we got to do whatever we can to make this happen.
Hey, Cassie, how big were you like your junior year in high school when you getting recruited? Do you remember?
I want to say I was like 6'6". I was kind of at the height I am now, and then like 300 pounds and just like 50% body fat, like terrible weight. So I was big, but like not good big, you know what I mean?
We glossed over a couple quick Princeton touchdowns, which I'm happy to do, because I'm here for the layman's perspective, and I've been wanting to ask you, Matt, you mentioned development. What particular skills is it? Maybe you came in as a raw product, but just let's say we're watching an offensive lineman in the NFL, which you are. What separates the good from the great? Because just watching at home, it's like, okay, he got in front of that guy better than the other guy did. What are the actual skills that go into being a good lineman?
It's 95% technique. Wow. Just trusting your technique, and a lot of times when the game gets fast, you want to abandon it because, I don't know, like something takes over you, like a little fear that you're not going to be able to get there in time, but like trusting your technique, taking the proper steps, putting your hands in the right place. That's like 95% of offensive line play is technique. So that's kind of like what you learn at a higher level in college, because you got more practice time, more meeting time, so you're able to learn more about the game and like how you should block guys, where your foot placement should be, where your hand placement should be, and then you just kind of develop that over time, and you learn more about the game. Like Jared was saying earlier, I mean, in high school I had no idea what was going on. And then in college a little bit more, and as you keep playing, you keep learning more and more, and so it's kind of like technique and preparation is kind of what I think made me the player I was, the player I am. Is watching tape, knowing what the other team's going to do, and having a plan for what I was going to do to stop that, and kind of sticking to it, and not letting a few failures separate me from my technique.
Snap, GERBINO keeps it himself, sprints left, spins away from one tackle, 38.
And Coach Daft, this is a drive that seems to be a momentum shifter, game changer, and you needed it too here with 2 touchdowns from Princeton. They've looked pretty tough to stop in the second half. Is this just more making sure Jared gets the ball? Did you mix in anything else here to stay effective?
Yeah, definitely we wanted to give a dose of GERBINO and then also, mix in Jack because, Jared wasn't at the point where we were opened up the complete pass game with him. So definitely had to mix and match and, put our best plays forward because, we definitely had to answer. I think it's two unanswered scores right there. So definitely need to get back to the momentum at this point.
I do want to say about Jared's passing. He went from, I guess, wildcat quarterback is what some people call it, but eventually got to the point where, Jared, you were an instructor at the Manning Passing Academy. Coach T brought you there, and you got to work with, at least my understanding, is Peyton and Eli Manning. I mean, can you tell us a little bit about that and how you got pulled into it and what the experience was like?
Yeah, it was an unreal experience. I was obviously with the scenario we're going on with right now, a lot of guys, I don't even think they're holding the camp this year. So I wanted to go back and be an instructor again and do all that, but obviously I'll wait till that's open again. But it was a hell of an experience. I mean, how many guys can say they've met Peyton Manning and them in general, Eli Manning, Archie, all of them. And then to be with the other quarterbacks, I think, was the biggest help to me because I think it was just a confidence booster. Because when I went in, I was like, I don't know what to expect. I knew a few of the guys like Jared Guarantano just from camps in high school and stuff, Tennessee quarterback. And then being around them and just competing with them, I got to see that my throwing ability was still there from high school. I could still throw the ball just as good as any other guys. And now I'm surrounded by, 40 of the best quarterbacks in the nation, and I'm throwing it just as well. So I think it was more of a confidence boost. When I got to Dartmouth, my throwing kind of went out of the way, and I was just like, all right, I'm a running quarterback. I'm just gonna be an athlete and carry on from there. And then I think it was the Manning camp really put me in a new perspective, and that I can still throw the ball and I can still perform at that level. So overall, it was just an unreal experience. I think Derek was gonna go this year if they had it, but I hope he can go next year because it really is once in a lifetime opportunity. It was awesome.
Pretty cool to watch the green and white scrimmage in 2018. That was the first on-site Dartmouth football I had seen, and at that point it was still up in the air, I believe, who was going to be the starting quarterback, and it wound up being a nice split between you and Derek. And Coach Daft, I'll ask you, I mean, that decision-making process, what was that like to figure out who the guy was going to be? I thought that scrimmage I'm talking about, I came away saying, wow, GERBINO can throw too. I heard he was just a running guy, so it seemed like something had shifted there.
Yeah, we definitely want to develop Jared's skills over the years because we knew he could run the ball. And then, after that sophomore year, we wanted to make sure we developed a full skill set and passing. But it was difficult. They're both really good players, and it's tough. And it's hard to say, hey, this guy's going to be on the sideline for the whole game. You can't really say that to either guy. And so we did our best to make sure we maximize both of them and keep teams off balance and whatever we needed for the team to win each week.
Would have been another first down.
And now, after being so consistently strong with
there definitely was a lot of penalties in this game.
Yeah.
The holding penalty there. Pat Kill comments, doesn't matter. So first and 20.
Come on, Pat.
I didn't want you to think it was you, Matt, so I wanted to make sure I was clear.
I got my fair share.
Great.
Yeah, your hands got outside the frame every once in a while, right?
Oh yeah. You got to though,
Yeah. We had a great rivalry between our O-line and D-line. Boy, they really made each other better.
Those guys could get under my skin like no other. They knew all the buttons to press. Rocco DeLeo in particular, man. They could get me going.
Oh, great run by.
Block too, Matt.
Well, there's some gashers on this drive. Wow.
Long drive.
Here's a snap to GERBINO. He keeps it on 2nd and 8, spinning his way across the 15.
I mean, everything's 5+.
Down at the 13-yard line. That goes for
Couple 12s, couple 15s.
suddenly in a spot where it's 3rd and short.
With Hennigan out on the wing,
You're not rotating the offensive line really at all, at least at the core, are you, Coach Staff? Kind of like the defense does all the time on the line. Is this kind of the same 5 guys out there?
Yeah, and then as you can see, when Phil Burncombe is in 91, he ends up being a 6th offensive line. I think he's in there on the left right there. You know, we felt like we had 6 starting offensive linemen. You know, it's how do you get them to get on the field? But yeah, traditionally offensive linemen do not rotate like defensive linemen.
running for the big green. Only 1:18 left in the quarter, so
It's kind of more of a, it's kind of an anomaly, you know, almost every other position except, I mean, we did it here with quarterback, but almost every other position will rotate guys, and for whatever reason, I guess I mean, we don't really have to move that far, but I think it's kind of more of a chemistry thing that you keep the same 5 guys out there because, you know, blocking combinations with different guys, they have different feels. They put their body in different positions. So, you know, I played next to John for 3 years, and, you know, we knew exactly what the other was going to do, and it helped us out a lot, and you can just trust him. So I think that's kind of the reason why, but it is, it's interesting how that hasn't started developing more. Some O-line rotations, keep them fresh.
Oh, that's a nice hole.
I think that was a hit right there. Where that was it. I could still feel that one. I thought I was in for a touchdown. He came out.
Oh, here we get to see it again.
He came out of nowhere and just shoved me.
But you kind of were held up by one guy, so it's
that wasn't really fair. I can agree with that, but I got
still 1-on-2.
Yeah, 24 had your side and 34 got your.
Yeah, I got
31 yards.
Yeah, good thing you didn't go on a protocol, because it would have been a tough win without you out there. Just tough that one out.
Woo. Untouched into the end zone.
Pretty solid hole right there.
What a great drive. A great drive. So when I was recruiting the Kilcommons twins, so I get the tape on one of them, and I really like them. I think it was John. Yeah, I think it was John's tape.
I love it.
So I called the head high school coach, and I said to him, I really like that. Your left guard. He goes, well, what about his brother? I said, he's got a brother? He goes, yeah, the other guard's his twin brother. I said, well, I guess I really like him too then. And when they came out for their visit, we weren't sure which one was Pat and which one was John at first. So.
Yeah, they look similar for the first few weeks, but then you get a hang of it.
And then Keith goes, well, let's take both of them. I said, that works for me.
Yeah, it worked out, man. Those guys are competitors. They get after each other. Get after the D-line big time.
Yeah.
That's like, they're going to be talking about that right there. Like, John is going to be Thanksgiving dinner. John's going to be like, did you hear what Coach Dove said? He said he wanted me before you.
Had to punt twice.
Yeah.
Now you got to find a way to stop.
Yeah, because then we got Pat's tape, and then we said, oh, man, he's pretty good too.
Mm-hmm. That high school team, I'm not even going to say they're good because they'll like it too much, but they had a good team that year.
Yeah, they're loaded. They're loaded. They got kids all over the country playing. That's a great program. Great program.
But nothing quite like this.
Nice.
Good job, Coach Staff. Great drive. We're feeling better now.
7-minute drive, 14 plays, 79 yards. I mean, that's exactly what you guys needed there.
Trailing only the opener.
It is, exactly. After those 2 drives they had.
Football short down to Tiger Besh at the 7-yard line across the 10.
And I guess the scoreless third quarter for Dartmouth was a little bit misleading because the very next play, once the fourth began, you're able to punch it in. On your way to what should be a pretty high-scoring final frame here. And, I mean, last game of the season, it's cold, you're tied. A lot of times at this point in the broadcast, I ask about fatigue factor, but it almost feels like adrenaline's gonna carry you guys the rest of the way. Is that close to accurate, Matt? What do you think?
Oh, I'm for sure huffing and puffing right now. I needed an oxygen tank on the sideline. We didn't have one, but this was definitely a tiring game. But yeah, the adrenaline kept you going. It was a fun game, but I was definitely gassed out there.
Matt, I don't know if you remember, I'm not sure if this is a game or not, but I feel like around halftime, whoever we were waiting to lose ended up winning the game. And I think a lot of us found out at halftime. So towards the end of this game, it was more of like, we just want to win this game. It's our seniors' last day. Obviously, it's a football game. We just want to come out with a win. But I think I remember that. I think I remember finding out that and kind of not even caring about it at the moment, just caring about the specific game that we're in. I think a lot of guys felt that same way, like, hey, we might as well go out with a bang.
Because the Yale-Harvard game had gone final and Yale had won, yeah.
So probably why we didn't score any points in the third quarter.
Did you want guys to know about that? Coach Dobes, Coach Daft, did that leak, or were you guys very public about letting them know the Ivy League title was going to happen?
I don't recall. I don't know if I knew. I usually like to stay in the game that I'm at. I usually don't. I don't check my phone at halftime and things like that. Someone may bring it up, but I'm not really searching it out. What about you, Coach Dobes?
Yeah, I don't know anything unless somebody from upstairs tells me. But I just think in today's world with technology, with everything being so out there, that they started at noon, so I think people in the stands and probably the guys at halftime had been on their phones to check the scores and things like that, would be my guess, right Jared?
It was definitely a leak. It was an inside source. Yeah. I think we were asking someone on the sideline who had their phone what the score was.
Just saw Gage Garrett on the sideline, spark plug. Really the emotional center of this offensive line.
Boyd was lingering on the back.
Tough dude.
I mean, that guy could play. From Corona, California, the Inland Empire. Good high school ball out there, man. They're always one of the top teams out there, and he started for a few years. Yeah.
Losing by 3.
Talk about having good technique, right? You gotta have good technique at that size.
Oh my God, dude! If he was bigger, he would have been like the best offensive lineman on our team. He knew technique.
Yeah.
Who's that?
Gage Garrett.
Oh yeah.
I mean, those guys used to hate going against him because, I mean, he'd get a hold of you and drive you 5 yards.
I know. He got leverage, strong hands, ornery.
Yeah.
3rd and 10, Knopf in the pocket. He's got time. He strikes near side, incomplete.
There we go. Now we're talking. Now Isaiah's coming back.
The 25-yard line, Tavish Rice is
That's drive started, 3 consecutive completions, 23 yards, 7 yards, 29 yards, but then they tried 3 more passes and they're all incomplete. So I don't know if you changed anything there, Coach Dobes, but a big-time switch up at exactly the right time because they're on the edge of field goal range here.
Yeah, I thought we did played some more man, and I thought we did a better job of making him move his feet and step up to places he doesn't like to step up to. And then we were changing up the coverages a bunch. Almost blocked out, dude.
That's crazy.
A laser from 42 yards out has given Princeton a 30-27.
That drive took 101 seconds, but they get the 3 points out of it. Pass interference was declined, so those early big throws certainly helped out, but plenty of time left.
Well, Tyler, in a game like this, when you got 2 teams that are so good offensively, when you can force them to take a field goal instead of a touchdown, it's almost like you feel like, hey, that's +4 for us because we know we're going to score a touchdown again. So you start that little, like that turnover at the end of the first half with Moen. We get 3 points out of that. It's at the end of the game, all those things become really huge, and Yeah, I'm a bottom line, man. I just want to win. 54-44, that's still a W. So I'm good with that. I mean, I'd rather it be, 17-10 us, but hey, I'm okay with 54-44.
We had plenty of those.
That game has just gone final. So 24-3.
You had Cornell 10-0 2 weeks before this, and you mentioned the interception. It was 2 turnovers, both forced by Dartmouth. Did not commit any turnovers, and then you scored 16 points off of those 2 takeaways. And in a game like this, that probably winds up being the whole difference.
A 21-0 lead in the first half by the Yale.
Yeah, we definitely
offense. What a great job they did of keeping us in and keeping on moving the ball and scoring. I mean, it was a track meet, and our guys who had faster shoes on.
Convincingly. That's a terrific season for Yale football. First Ivy League championship for Tony Reno, about his 5th, maybe his 6th year. And a lot of South,
Yeah, you can tell I'm tired of that jog.
Oh, you jogged halfway.
Oh, there's QBJ split out. He's a deep threat.
QBJ.
He takes the snap. He takes the football. Sprints up.
Whoa!
Give that cornerback safety help over top. He can put the burners on.
And Jared GERBINO has over 100.
That's just a decoy, right? Coached after. Is there a variance where he's involved out there, or is that just for fun?
No, that's just to, cross them up with they're both in the game and trying to figure out who's where and things like that. I don't know if we would have given Jared the option to throw a go route to Jack on that one.
I wouldn't have taken it, coach.
Jared running the ball more than throwing it, early in his career.
Princeton getting sucked in. GERBINO's running it up the middle time after time.
I don't know if that changed. Did that change later in your career, Jared? Either one.
I started to really like it. The end of junior year, I started to really enjoy throwing it. And then obviously the end of my senior year, when my hamstring was kind of bummy, I started to. That kind of felt like I was just going to throw the ball, and it kind of like the Brown game. I think was one of my best throwing games, and that's when I literally basically had one leg. But it definitely after junior year, I really started to enjoy it again.
25 carries for only 64 yards. So Dudek contained in.
Big Burton's back.
I think he's still going to end up being.
This one you get hawked.
No, I think I cramped a little bit, coach.
Oh.
It's so confusing to me because I was out the gate. I thought I was out the gate, and I don't even know. That's the best.
I think the guy that caught you runs a 4.3.
Yeah.
22, he runs a 4.3, I think.
A couple plays early, Wayne. You nailed it.
It made me feel like I saw I think it was Ryder got I think he got hawked one of the years, and it made me feel so much better because I was like, all right, you know what? Ryder's a great back. He got hawked. I can get hawked one time, like it's gonna happen, I guess.
I was sprinting, he said.
Yeah.
It happened to Pilata.
Well, he kind of hawked himself, his he wasn't ready for that. His quad gave out.
I didn't see that one. What happened with Pilata?
I didn't see that. What game was that, Coach?
That was Columbia.
At home, Pilata had like a 69-yard run up the middle. Gone. Like there's no one, and then he just like starts like losing his footing, and then he falls. It was hilarious. I gotta find the video. I'll send it to you if I find it.
Oh yeah, I need to see that.
He's probably about 15 yards behind everyone.
Too much open space. He didn't know what to do with himself.
Yeah.
He did not think he was gonna be running that long.
See, look at that. 78 is playing D-line. That man is an offensive lineman.
Yeah.
When I saw that, I was like, oh, geez, they are hurting. I mean, that's a testament to Spencer Brown. Quick shout out. Strength and conditioning, man. Kept us healthy for late in the season games like this, man. I mean, we would never have. Look at the 78. Trying to retrace that screen. That's a good job by him.
Good tackle.
Yeah, he got the
late
hit. There you go.
The initial hit was fine, but
he was fired up.
The second hit was what was whistled. Here's GERBINO, QB
Woo!
to the end zone.
Bulldozer.
Touchdown, third of the day for Dartmouth's Wildcat quarterback.
65 leading the way.
Is that your third touchdown right there?
Yeah, well,
That's Jandy, right?
yes, sir.
Woo!
Nice pull, man.
Nice block.
Me
Nice
and
pull.
Danny have a special connection after that the Penn game.
Dartmouth with a 30
Oh, is that right?
30 lead over Princeton.
Where you
Oh,
ran
yeah.
over?
Yeah, we can't really talk about it too much, but Matt knows. But yeah, I broke his back on the one play.
Hey, Jandy's a special dude. Love that guy. He brought it every day to practice.
Oh, yeah.
That's another one that was great for as younger years down as a look squad guy. Wow, look at that. Look at that. Ooh. 20, yeah.
How impressive has Jared GERBINO
That's good stuff.
The carry officially.
All right, we're back out in front.
It's 80 yards in just over 2 minutes, so pretty efficient there. The 53-yard run. Hog is what? Hog tied, caught from behind? Is that what we're talking about?
Yeah, cramped, I think is the right word. Yeah, hawked. I'll take it. I did.
I'm learning the lingo. You know, it's all right.
Yep, I got hawked down, chased down.
Well, it's back. It's in style here at Memorial Field.
You just wanted to run the clock a little bit more, Jared. I know what you're thinking.
You needed to give the defense a little more breather.
I wanted more carries, to be honest. That's why.
Faking the jet sweep and keeping the ball going, time after time.
Well, as frustrating as it
Winds up as the National Player of the Week on the offensive side, if I recall correctly. And if it wasn't, someone must have scored 6 touchdowns with 500 yards on their own.
befuddling for Princeton's defense right now. A short chip shot.
Yeah, I think these next couple drives go back and forth.
Up to the 15, 20, spun
Yeah.
down, up to the 22-yard line with 11:01 to go on the fourth. Dartmouth ahead by 4.
But yeah, there's plenty of games where, you know, the defense keeps us in. Coach Dobes does a great job. I mean, you saw it in the Harvard game this last year. The only way we stay in that game is because the defense keeps it close. So, you know, you never know what's going to happen in a game, but you just got to stick with the game plan. And, you know, we're all in this together. And like Coach said, we're just trying to get the win, whichever way we can.
Backfield trips to the left. Knopf reaches back and fires catch.
Yeah, there were some games where we were up a little bit and the defense would just keep getting 3 and outs, right? So I'd get like a minute of rest on the sideline. And I remember thinking, like, maybe just let them get like 1 or 2 first downs and then stop them. You know, I want to catch my breath here.
Offsides or maybe just quite see what.
Any guesses on how many or how few punts each team had in this game? Do you happen to remember?
I think there was 2 punts.
I've got 1 punt for Princeton the entire game, and 3 from Dartmouth. You could maybe think of it as 2 because one of them was muffed, and you guys got the ball right back. But
Right, okay.
this is almost like the Eagles-Patriots Super Bowl a couple of years ago. I think there was 1 punt the entire game.
6 catches for over 50 yards for the
Yeah, that's how you keep it interesting.
Who's getting himself into the action a lot so far here today.
They did a really nice job of working that boundary throwing game. You know, the 3 men into the boundary. They did a really nice job with that. Here we go.
Scott. Went across the middle quickly. The running back to catch at the midfield stripe. Trainer with the hit. After a couple extra yards following the catch.
Is there a position group, Coach Dobes, on defense that you really have to lean on against this Princeton offense? Where you okay, maybe I need my linebackers to have their A game, or is it just the entire team needs to play well? What do you think?
You know, it's an interesting question because their quarterbacks do a great job at dictating their offense. You know, the Knopf was one personality and one set of skills. Lovett was he was more like playing against Jared. So each of their cues over the years, they're kind of dictate, and then they do a great job of surrounding them with some really talented, smart football players. And this was a team where I felt like you had to be good at all 3 levels against this offense because they were really could do it all. And if he was on, then you knew that you're trying to get, but the ball comes out so quick, and he's such a quick decision maker, and they really know what they're doing. So, but then then you get a great play by Eric on this. So you're waiting for those situations where you're hoping you can get a turnover or a sack or something. We never got a sack this game, and I thought that hurt us. We didn't hit them enough. You like to be able to hit. And that was the difference this year, is we hit their quarterback enough times.
That's a toss.
Yeah.
That's a pitch and catch.
And, there's your matchup again, 6'3", 6'4". So it was just, hey, you take your head off to him. That was great throw, great catch.
Has bounced back ahead.
8:24 to go.
But, good protection, and
that's the first touchdown.
Back hip throw. Kid made a nice play.
12th catch.
Yeah, neither team had a sack in this game. It's interesting you brought that up. And the interception from Jake Moen, it came on a play where almost always when the quarterback has enough time to sit back there and scramble, he's got a wide open receiver. So I was surprised he was picked off there, so that was impressive.
I think we had flushed him just enough, and I don't think he saw Jake or was surprised that Jake was in coverage. And Jake did a great job of getting to his area and then reading the eyes of the quarterback. But yeah, that was good to see. That was a great play by Jake, and the 3 points at the end of the first half was a nice bonus for us.
Great job by Princeton kicking off.
Right,
Yeah, this Princeton O-line was pretty good.
Here comes the green machine again.
So the Big Green starting from their 20.
First and 10 at the 20-yard line. 3-point lead for Princeton.
Vito's kind of the unsung hero of this offense. Number 39. Always leading the way.
Up across the 25 to the 27. And that's what he's been averaging.
Yeah, Vito does a nice job coming across on that split zone,
About 170 on the day.
Yeah, he came in as a quarterback, right? He's a versatile guy, played some running back, tight end. Just a smart football player.
Not bad at all for Jared Gerbino.
I remember
Love the game, yeah.
My freshman visit. I see this big kid with long hair, Vito, and we're watching the spring game, I think it was. He was injured. And I look over, and he's just repping out push-ups. And I'm watching him for like a minute. And he gets up, and I'm like, how many did you do? He said 75. And at that point, I was like, this guy's got to be a good ball player. I see him just do 75 push-ups right there. I was like, oh, no. I'm glad he's on my team.
How many do you think he actually did?
Oh, he legitimately did 75. Like, I watched it.
Dartmouth doesn't convert. They got to give the ball away trailing by 3.
Because, yeah, he was one of the top benchers on our team. He's a strong kid.
That's a nice throw and catch.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
Protection, man.
Good protection. Looks like they're bringing 6. Nice job.
It's a QB hit right there.
Yeah, Jack hung in there really nice. Bobbled the snap a little bit, kept his composure.
Waves Hagdorn in motion. Snap, fake handoff. Gerbino keeps it, steps away from one tackler up to the 45.
Really trying to catch you from behind a bunch, huh? Looks like they're trying to bring that backside guy.
Yeah, they made that change.
Elsewhere in New Hampshire action.
No, that was one of the things they did. I mean, on the front side, there wasn't much they could do.
Right.
I mean, that was a solid change they made, but it still obviously didn't work too well.
They were blown out by Holy Cross earlier in the season as well. Snap to Gerbino. A stutter step as he bursts up the middle, driving low and hard to the 48-yard line, leaving 3rd and 2.
You're running the heck out of that short side, or open side stunt, trying to bring the guy down hard.
Nobody's done that in FCS football.
I love the way our offense changes personnel, though. It's so smooth. He does a great job of getting people on and off. Really, really smooth, and that puts you at a disadvantage defensively.
Hennigan in at quarterback on third.
Yeah, I think we're coming up too on the touchdown to Hunter right here. It's the next play, I'm pretty sure.
Well, I think I remember the play too, or the route.
Yeah, he runs a little out and up. That's a great move.
Great ball, I think, too.
5:40 to go.
It's not easy for Jack and Derek. I give them so much credit for. There's games where I was rushing the ball a bunch, and then they just come in and they're able to throw the ball as accurately as they do. That's not easy at all. Like, especially as a quarterback, you get in rhythm. So for them to be able to come in and still do what they did at times is ridiculous. That's a perfect ball.
Wow.
Yeah, I definitely think it's probably easier to come in, Jared, come in and run the ball as opposed to coming off the sideline and have to throw it.
So much easier just to run. Yeah.
Did a nice job of working to the throw too, keeping himself forward.
It's good pocket presence.
Yeah, one. Great job, one.
Was fat.
His 6th touchdown of the year.
Yeah, gonna miss Hunter, man. Definitely personality. Love the game.
Yeah.
Love to come out to practice.
Love the practice. Love the return punts too.
He put up numbers for 4 years, man. Right when he got in, started scoring.
It's nice having that 4-point lead, though. Even though you're forcing these guys to score touchdowns, So now we just got to find a way to stop them.
Or just have the ball last because.
Well, that's the other thing, yeah.
Yeah. I was going to say this is another 80-yard drive. It took just over 3 minutes. So he scored on the first play of the fourth quarter, and then let's say 5 minutes and change combined for 2 more touchdown drives. So this is incredibly efficient, with the big plays being the big run from Jared and then the long pass to Hagdorn, and the explosive plays haven't been there as much for Princeton. So for me, that's been the difference so far. Dartmouth scoring a little more quickly.
Dartmouth hasn't scored 40 points in a game since.
And we forced them to one field goal attempt, so.
They played down in Penn in 2016.
Smitty, man.
Helped lead Dartmouth to a 41-20 victory.
Great kicker.
In fact, second straight 40-point performance. The week before, they dropped 49 on Sacred Heart. David Smith with the ball teed up. Late game.
I love all the hand signals and all the yeah.
Yeah, we had a penalty on the kickoff too, huh? What was that penalty? Delay game, maybe?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't even know that was a thing.
Yeah, I didn't know that.
Yeah, well, they got their routine they got to go through.
Besh is back. Along with
I can see him, Coach McCorkle's got to be hot right now.
these kick returns.
Shuffling, doing the strut.
They've got 40 points here today. As a weak kick sent down to about the 20.
Oh, don't go out of bounds.
Okay. That's a great job not getting to the
All right, mowing, baby. That's the way to get down there, big body. Yeah.
That's a big body moving now.
Oh, yeah, he's feeling it.
Big body.
Got the hair going. That's Cali all the way, Daft.
Yeah.
Helping out on the tackle.
He's Cali all the way.
So Princeton has gone the length of
Old Gilroy.
Garlic Festival.
5 minutes and 14 seconds left.
Last 4 possessions, Princeton.
I mean, that front is got to be the biggest in the Ivy League by like 20 pounds on average.
He stands in the pocket.
You do not want to run the ball against them.
The 35, Carlson to the 40, stays on his feet, tackled 44. 25 easy yards through the air on the first down of this drive.
Yeah, that wasn't what we wanted on that first play.
Horsted's got 11. That's going to have 2 guys.
They come out here with 7 passes to start the drive. Is that 5 minutes left?
Yeah, they pretty much decided at this point that they're only the run is just strictly a little change up for them. They're going to the fastball now, and I think they feel at this point they have some advantages against us in coverage situations. So I think they've kind of decided that that's the best way for them to run the ball. I mean, move the ball is to throw it. We're trying to do a good job moving around, disguise things as best we can.
Some good goosh going on out there, man.
Yeah, got to get the goosh, man.
Tackled after 2 yards to the 48. Trainer with the tackle, and it leaves 3rd and 2.
That's the thing. When I think about playing defense, that would be the most fun for me, because I just get up there, set in my stance. I think it would be awesome to walk around like fake blitz here. I'd probably end up being out of position, but it seems like a fun part of playing defense.
Not much more. 45 to the 43. Goes down on his side.
And this is why you got to have multiple people, because, you know, we got to run so much to the ball after it's thrown. Is you got to keep that D-line fresh.
Get off with a hard fake on the snap.
We're like he says, we're trying to move around, disguise, show different things.
Here's the snap. Knopf fires, tipped.
There you go. There you go.
Big Daddy.
There you go. He had a great, Chalmers had a great knack for being able to match the throw. What a great player. What a great kid.
2nd and 3rd in the Ivy League.
Oh, yeah.
Along with Moen having a great day.
Yeah, rushing 3, it's tough to get any pressure on the quarterback, but that's
yeah. He got rid of it so quick. He kind of forced us, you know.
Yeah.
You know, in the 84 and 4 were really good runners after they caught those rocket screens or hitch screens. They do a good job of making a completion and blocking on the perimeter.
Unlikely that Princeton's going to try the field goal.
And they got us blocked pretty good there. They did a great job of matching that up. Oh, thought we were going to pick that one.
10-5 touchdown. That's actually Jesper Horsted who makes the grab, streaking inside on the defense. And Princeton's ahead 43-41.
So we're a little frustrated right now there, Tyler.
I was going to ask if you remember the score at the start of this quarter.
Absolute.
I think we outscored them, what, 34-17 in the 4th?
Coach DAFT just got it, 27-20.
Yeah.
So this thing's off the rails at this point. But in the battle for who might have the ball last, the timing doesn't look terrible for the offense, Coach DAFT. So I wonder what I always ask this. Are you trying to score at 0 seconds on the clock, or at this point do you just want to make sure you get in somehow or get the field goal?
Well, yeah, we definitely, you know, ultimate goal is you want to score on this drive, obviously, but you know, you can feel the game and games go different ways, and you know it's going back and forth, so you don't want to leave them enough time to put together a drive. You know, if you leave them any time, you want to be kind of, you know, desperation type passes. So, but you know, there's plenty of time here. Need a field goal to tie it, so don't feel like we need to be in a 2-minute mode just yet.
How's the energy level there, KASKEY?
I mean, it's picked up now. We got to go out there and get some points, man.
That wasn't a ton of time to be on the bench. That was 2 minutes and 16 seconds. So really neither team's had any time to rest at all when you break it down. So
yeah.
That's what they call these track meets, Tyler.
I never put that together. That's why I'm happy to do these. I'm learning so much. This is good.
Yeah. Well, I just love our energy on the sideline. That's one of the really fun things about coaching these guys is just how much they're into it on the sideline and how they pull for each other, and you know, and we compete against each other all week. We do our 2-minute drills and things like that, but on game day, man, they're just totally behind each other. It just we're as competitive as can be against each other during the week, and then on game day, man, it's 120% in. We had no doubt they were going to go down and score points here. We were deciding, you know, what we were going to have to do to stop them one more time.
They only need about 35 yards to get into range for David Smith. But the way they've been playing,
Yeah, that was a nice gift right there. Kick out of bounds.
Can you imagine what overtime
A little bit better field position.
we could be here all night.
GERBINO's the quarterback. Here's the snap. He pauses, goes left. Across the line of scrimmage, gets 3 yards, maybe a fourth. The 34-yard line for GERBINO on first down.
If you're Princeton right now, you're thinking, okay, we knew he was getting the ball. That's a good chunk of yardage. I mean, what does that feel like, Jared? When you know you're more than likely going to be picking up important yardage at a stage like this, and to this point, no one in the Ivy League's figured out how to stop you.
I mean, you don't. It's funny because you don't think about it when it's happening. You're just playing football. I think that's like what our team did a great job of this year versus Harvard is a perfect example. The chances of us winning that game is small on a Hail Mary play, no matter the game, and we all kept our composure and just finished the game, and that's how our coaches train us, and that's how all the players that go to Dartmouth are. They're clutch players, and I think that's just the mindset. You're just finishing a football game. You're simply just playing the game you love, and you're just doing it regardless of the time on the clock. You're just playing football.
I think the clock keeps going out of bounds in college football.
Yeah, that was a great throw and catch from Cactus Jack there to Estrada.
Yeah, we were actually talking about that play today in our QB meeting. Great little hole shot there. But I think right now too, the guys are pretty like just having fun playing in this game. It's exciting. They're feeling intensity. I don't think they were really worried or in panic or any of that stuff. I think they were just enjoying themselves.
Mm-hmm.
That would have at least given Dartmouth a couple extra seconds.
Yeah, their composure. What's that little thing you got around your leg there, GERBINO? What is that, Jared? That little green thing?
Something happened to my leg. I forgot what it was, but.
Oh, you a trainer, huh?
Yeah.
Got the green wrap.
Yeah. I'll tell you what, this is the most sore I've ever been in my entire life after this game.
Oh, really?
Like I got hit by a car. My hips were because towards the end of the game when they started bringing the backside guy,
right?
He started just putting his helmet into my hip. The ride home, I drove like 6 hours home with my parents the next day. Oh my goodness.
Oh.
Couldn't walk for like a week.
On a whistle here.
More than the Penn game, huh?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So the clock winds. GERBINO's in.
Yeah, you ended up with what, 30? How many do you have, Tyler? 30, 32 carries, somewhere around there?
202 yards is the number I have off the top of my head. Carries, I have to look up.
I know for a fact.
It was 32 carries. Oh my god.
Yeah.
Pretty good. You lost 1 yard officially. I don't know when that happened. I haven't seen any losses here on the tape. But you gained 203.
You're doing a great job of finding those seams, though. Doing a great job of finding those seams.
Oh, he looks a little gassed, a little slow getting up right there.
Yeah. Little head hit.
You called the timeout here.
Yeah, we needed one. We needed one.
So 2 left.
2 left? How much time? What's the time there, Tyler? Can you see it?
58 seconds.
Ooh, okay.
Pretty well managed clock, I'd say.
I'd say very well managed. I'm liking it right now. I'm thinking, okay. 58. Couple more plays. Get that baby down to about 10 or 15. With a touchdown, we'll be looking good.
You said you drove home, Jared. Was this Thanksgiving break? November 18th, right?
Yeah, every year. So we get out usually like a week before. But yeah, it was. I think a lot of guys leave the day or 2 after if they're done with finals and stuff.
Yeah, there's definitely some finals after this game, which is terrible.
Yeah, next day.
Yeah, some guys have it the next day. I remember when we won the 2015 title, some guys had like a chemistry final the next day, and it didn't go so hot because, you got to celebrate the wins when you get them.
That was the first title since '96. I mean, that's worth celebrating for sure.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's been a little bit of a drought there.
looking for some instruction here.
Still most titles out of anybody, 19 now, right?
Yeah.
55 seconds to go on the game clock. Hannigan with Stone in the backfield, 2 wide receivers each side.
So what's the plan with this season? I know it's postponed, but is it supposed to start up in what, February or something?
And so Dartmouth gets, looks like they've given them the first down.
Yeah, we think that's a long shot.
Okay.
A little further back than what they had initially given them.
There's just too many unknowns, too many logistics, too many teams that do or don't have players on campus. It's
Emery Thompson, I can't imagine from that spot that you would give him the first down.
What was this here?
Looks like one right on the first down marker.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
And the clock counts down.
Yeah, they gave him the first down.
Hannigan, trailing by 3, fires near side, caught inside the 50.
There you go.
Yeah, that's a nice job. Catch, got out of bounds. Now we got plenty of time. I mean, you're inside the 20th, 40 seconds. Now it's just about, touchdown to win, field goal to tie.
So they have time to take a couple of shots.
I give credit to the line. You guys are, I know you guys are gassed right now. We've had a bunch of long drives. This is one of the best, I think, team line. What do you call it? The fist, right?
The fist, yeah.
It's one of the best fist games.
Yeah, this was, I mean, we love running the ball.
I know y'all do.
Here's a snap, nope to the air, fires near side, caught at the 11-yard line by Estrada. That'll give Dartmouth the first down.
You got the first there, right?
Freezes for a moment.
That was on first down, I think. Got a few more.
Now it does with 33
Clock's running.
Regulation.
I think this is the play that
Hannigan checks at the line of scrimmage. First and 10 at the 11.
we throw to Hunter.
Hannigan takes the snap, stares left, lobs one to
So
the
this should have been the game winner. We were going nuts in the box, just losing our mind. And we got called for illegal formation on the other side of the field. First time all game, maybe even all season, just out of the blue. And I still don't think it was the correct call. It was pretty close, but I mean it wasn't that obvious. So I remember they marked it off, and that was kind of emotional high and low, and now you got backed up, even less time, right? Now you got to try and do it again. I mean, we wanted to score a touchdown this drive. We didn't want to get into overtime and kind of go back and forth and that sort of thing.
17 seconds left. Here's the snap to Hannigan, trailing by 3. A fire to the goal line, incomplete. 12 seconds left.
Incomplete. That'll stop the clock.
That was bang bang there, huh?
Yeah.
Or at least one with the clock.
The offensive line doing a great job protecting. That looked like they brought 5 or 6 that time too.
The touchdown to Hagdorn was near corner.
So I feel good about where we are field goal range wise. Now it's just a matter of, can we end the game?
12 seconds left, and we've got a timeout.
Is there a yard line? You have in your head, if we get to the 3-yard line and there's one play left, I think we can score? Or is that not how you think about it?
Yeah, it's a little off the feel. You got to see, is a long 3-yard, on the short and long end of that, and how you're playing, and if you have a play from that spot, it gets pretty specific when you get down inside the 10-yard line. There's certain plays that you can and can't run. We had a couple defensive PIs down here that kind of prolonged this last 12 seconds.
7 or 8 yard line for Dartmouth. First and goal.
I totally forgot about this part of the game.
Yeah, so touchdown with the penalty, then a PI, and then again here. I'm trying to remember what they called on this one.
Princeton.
That's just a timeout.
Timeout.
I believe. Yeah.
Tried to go back to Hunter. Another PI. So all these are going half the distance. So now we're at 5 seconds. Okay. Now you got to make the decision. You kick the field goal, because even though you do gain some yards on these penalties, the clock is working against you. Kick a field goal, go to overtime, or you just try and end it right where we are, and we felt that really good about the way Jared's playing the offensive line, and we felt like if we didn't get in, it's such a short yardage play that we could get a timeout called with a second left.
Great run.
Yeah,
Great
reached
run.
out a little bit, just enough.
Yeah, baby. Yeah.
And they end up putting a second back on there. So we you know, and Coach Tevens was down the sideline right about where this camera is, ready to call timeout if we didn't make it in.
This was a fun game, man.
Oh, it literally said final for a second. Did you see that?
Yeah, it did say final.
We put more points up here, don't we?
Darius would really be upset.
Yeah.
That made his.
How juiced were you right there, Jerbs? Just
One of the most juiced I've ever been.
Oh.
Wow, great run. Great run.
Yeah, that's the nice part about having 13 back there, man. We didn't create any sort of hole on that play. Just powered in there.
Enough push. Just run behind KASKEY.
Take it to that left side, baby.
Sure.
We await the snap on the extra point. The snap is good. The hold good. And David Smith.
This is the best ending of this that I've ever been a part of. Just that drive, this play, and then the next one is so cool.
Yeah, I've never seen this before. I've seen a lot, but I haven't seen this before. And the hit that I think it's Moen puts on Volker as he's pitching the ball, you know. Oh, he's definitely over. I don't know what they're.
Yeah.
When you're kicking off from inside of Princeton's territory. 48-44 with 1 second left. The Dartmouth Big Green.
Takes a little while to clean this up after the score.
Yeah.
Well, we have a second, Jared. How did that measure up to the Penn play? You said it's the most jacked up you've ever been. I figured it was a pretty similar feeling, but this one was even better?
Yeah, I think it's tough because obviously they're both pretty much, or this one's technically a game or two, but it was more of like what happened the entire game. I think the Penn game was like, it was a nail biter, but like there really wasn't that many points scored. It wasn't really back and forth. It was kind of like a stalemate the entire game. So I think this game was just so back and forth, and it was just two great teams going head to head. I think it was senior night, last game of the year, under the lights at home. I think all those factors really made it that much better. Like I said, I think especially it being senior night, or like the seniors' last games, and being at home in front of everyone and doing that for them was really a really cool experience.
Rushing yards in a game this season for Dartmouth's offense.
All right, guys, just one tackle and it's over.
Yeah, one big tackle.
This is an interesting one, too, because you could technically kick it out of the end zone probably from there, but then they get an offensive play. You'd rather this be their last play.
Look at this hit. Look at that hit.
Oh, that's awesome.
I wish you could see this. Oh, you can. There you go.
Yeah. That's how the season ends. That's so cool.
That's awesome, bro. That's a great way to end a career right there, DG, Darius George.
Look at JD's like in disbelief.
Oh, my God.
Who gets the hit, Mullen?
Yeah, Mullen.
Mullen, yeah.
He's trying to do like behind the back toss and just got flattened.
Look at him. He's got a full run.
Great pursuit there. Cracking the near hip.
And the Darius is still running. What a great feeling. That was awesome. Awesome.
No offense to the rest of our terrific games, but that so far has been the best one of the Woods Watch Party. I mean, 98 total points, an essential walk-off touchdown from Jared GERBINO, and then the icing on the cake in the end. And as is tradition, guys, we'll give you each one last moment to give your final thoughts on the game. Any shout-outs you want to give, anything else? But thank you guys so much for being here. It's been an absolute blast to relive this with you. We'll start with Matt KASKEY in Charlotte, North Carolina. I mean, this was fun wire to wire, man. What's your final thought?
Yeah, I mean, one of the most fun games I ever played in. Loved it. Loved every minute of it. It was good catching up with you guys. Quick shout out to the offensive line. You know, Hageman, Jandy, Pat, John, and you know, everyone else who's behind the scenes helping us out that we didn't mention. You know, it's a team effort to get that win.
And then the FCS National Player of the Week for his 4 touchdowns, over 200 yards on the ground, Jared GERBINO. I mean, this is it's got to be a highlight for you in your career.
For sure, but obviously I want to shout out the line, especially. Like, that's not doable without their effort that entire game. Also, quick shout out to Ryder, because I know that was his senior night. For him to be selfless and let me take majority of the carries, that's really, it speaks for him as a human. So shout out him, shout out the coaches. It was obviously a really fun win. One of my favorite games I've ever played in, and I think it brought us some momentum moving into the next season. So thanks for having me. It was really fun doing this.
Great to have you guys. Thank you for joining us. And to the coaching staff, thank you for rejoining us. Coach DAFT, I mean, 54 points on the board for the offensive coordinator, 6 from special teams, as we just saw. But give us your final thoughts on this one.
Yeah, it was a blast. It was an exciting game. It was fun to be a part of, and it was intense. And, the players made it easy on us because they made some huge plays. Like Jared said, the offensive line played an unbelievable game, and Jared took off. And, he had a good point. It definitely gave us a lot of momentum going to the next year. But appreciate it, Tyler. Thanks for having me on, and that was great to relive that one.
Did you know, fans, since Kevin DAFT came to town in 2017, Dartmouth is 26-4, their best 3-year stretch in program history? I found that out today. I already knew, though, that their defense was playing at an elite level the last 3 years, and he's been there for a little longer than that. But Coach Dobes, the defense got it done just enough when they needed to in this crazy game.
Hey, it's about the W. It's about the team. It's about these great young men that we get a chance to coach and be part of their lives. And, like the other guys echoed, just to my seniors there and what a great role model they were for the younger guys and how much time, effort, and energy and just the character of these guys and this football program that does all the little things right, so we have a chance to be, like you pointed out, 26-4 for the last 3 seasons. And thank you to you and Ben for all you guys are doing. This has been a lot of fun and great memories, and obviously love you guys big time.
Shout out, of course, yes, Ben Myers, our executive producer, Rick Bender in sports information, athletic administration, and everybody on the football side of things for putting this together, and for you guys, most of all, giving us your time.
Thanks to Casella Waste Management for bringing us today's game. Casella is a proud partner of Dartmouth Athletics.
I'm Tyler Murray. It's been so fun to tag along with you guys all season long. We'll keep it going next week, but for now, Dartmouth stays unbeaten in 2020 as part of the Woods Watch Party. We'll see you next time.